Hey folks, Dave here in Studio B on a Saturday night. Just checking in with everybody, seeing what you've been playing is kind of the title of this one here. I just want to know, what'd you get for Black Friday? We had our Black Friday wrap up show. And we saw a lot of good games being bought and played in the whole bit. But I want to know, of the games you got, what have you played so far? That's kind of what I'm asking here. Oh, you see, I got my new Chief shirt. Amazon. I went on Amazon. They had a ridiculous sale, and I got a home and away set. And it was just like I couldn't pass it up. I was like, holy, all customized, the number 17 with Hanson on the back, as you can see over here. And I got home and away because it was so freaking cheap. I was like, oh my gosh, they were like, 20% the normal price. So I got home and away. But anyway, what have you guys been playing? Let me know what you guys have been playing, because I want to kind of just get caught up with everybody here. I was going to play some more Pocket Pennant Run or Season Ticket Baseball tonight, but I thought I'd come on and just say hi. It's been a while since I jumped on and just said hi to everybody. Again, what I've been playing is I've been playing a lot of Pocket Pennant Run, and I've been playing a lot of second season. I keep calling it Season Ticket Baseball. And I've had some nice discussions online with email and on Facebook and on YouTube about these games. They've been really fun. SG Jamie stops by. Good to see you. Like the jersey? Yeah. Well, hang on a second. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I got the home one too. I'll show that off at some point. But they were so damn cheap. I was like, oh my gosh. You know, I think I got a Mighty Ducks one too. They were just so ridiculously cheap on Cyber Monday. Robbie stops by. So I've been really doing the baseball thing. I knew one day I would hit the baseball bug, and that day is here, and I'm playing different games. In fact, I was kicking around order another season of APA baseball, but I am really enjoying going back and forth between Pocket Pennant Run and season ticket baseball. I'm gonna throw some Strat in there at some point, but I am enjoying a Strat PC. I do like that. I gotta finish up my spiders because I have another project I want to start. Fenna stops by. Thanks for coming by, and also Andrew stops by. You're playing Dice United. I saw that. I saw that you were playing that. You bought the how-to guide. Okay, good. I bought that. So a couple things that I bought, I haven't printed out yet. I got the play tennis game. I need to print that out. Al's been playing that, and he looks like he's having a blast with that. So I need to get on board with that and play that. And then also the Dice United. I got that as well. And I think I picked up, what did I get? I got a World Cup, and I got one of the leagues, the American leagues. I don't know much about it. Um, but I picked up Dice United. I want to give that a try. I'm hoping it's very similar to the Stone Cold Hockey, so I won't have too hard of a time picking up, because I really know nothing about soccer. I really don't. I mean, baseball. I know some about baseball, but soccer, nothing about soccer. I really don't. I watch it and I know what you kind of got to do, but as far as the intricacies of soccer, I don't know anything about. I really don't. Let me see, Robbie. So Robbie's been playing a lot of Diamond Mine Baseball. Okay, that's one I haven't tried yet. I haven't tried the Diamond Mine Baseball, but I'm on my baseball kick, so I don't doubt that at some point I will be doing some Diamond Mine Baseball. But I did have a nice conversation on email. I won't say who I had it with, but this person that they're watching or watches later on, they'll know that it was them. And we were going back and forth about season ticket. And yeah, I mean, he was surprised how fast I picked it up, and I was like, yeah, I'm really really enjoying the game. And I kiddingly said it was an easy game, and he said it's not. He said it's a very, he didn't say difficult, but he said it's a busy game. There's a lot going on with season ticket, and I guess he's right. It's really kind of a more advanced game, but it speaks to me for some reason. When I play season ticket baseball, nothing fools me in this game. And I haven't mastered it yet. And I've made a lot of mistakes, but the mistakes I make, I go back and I can see what I did wrong and I fix them. Whereas some games, I just don't get the engine. This game, I get the engine. It's just a matter of making it work. Joe stops by. Yeah, I don't know anything about soccer either. I watched it back in the day, you know. Yeah, I mean, what was it on from like 12 to 12:30 Sundays? That's when I'd get my soccer fix, and then at 12:30 the pregame would come on. And that's what happened back in the 80s. Okay, so if you wanted to watch football, I would watch a half hour of soccer, and I'd say, oh, I watch football from noon to 8 or whatever it was. But at 12 to 12:30 they had soccer on, and I just watched. I don't know who it was, but I think it was probably like a highlight show. And that was it. I haven't really followed we have a team here in New England that plays at Gillette. I haven't really followed them, so I don't know how good or how bad they are, and I never went to a game. When it's on, I might watch it occasionally, but I just don't know what it is. I just don't know, you know. And who knows? And the funny thing is sometimes I have an absolute blast when I play games I don't know. Like there's been some games I've had so much fun playing basketball games, and I'm not a huge basketball guy, but I've enjoyed basketball immensely. And maybe that's why, because I can just kind of enjoy it in its most basic sense. So maybe I will absolutely enjoy this soccer game. Who knows, Uh, and WSL, that is cool. My daughter plays soccer in college, so we have watched many games over the years. Oh, nice, nice. Um, and you plan on picking up the new Pocket Pen Run now that the physical edition is back in stock? I prefer the PDF, and I'll tell you why. Excuse me, because I've been using Digital Diamond, as you know. I'm using Digital Diamond to keep my stats, and I'm really liking that. I really, really am. So I'm learning like 3 games at once. I'm learning Pocket Pennant, Season Ticket, and Digital Diamond is what I'm trying to do. And but I'm using Digital Diamond as a companion, and it is so good. It is so good. It keeps your stats. I've been bouncing back and forth between Pocket Pennant Run and Season Ticket in 1979. The computer sims the rest. The computer gives me the lineup. I really like. So when it comes to Pocket Pennant Run, getting back to the PDF version of that rather than the print version, I printed out the chart that I need, the one chart that I need. I think I printed out the cheat sheet too, or the instructions. It's only like a page or two, just kind of in case I get stuck, I can go to it. But anyway, I go right to Digital Diamond and I play Pocket Pennant Run. So I just print out the sheets of the teams if I need to, and just right there I have everybody. And Digital Diamond gives me my lineup and who's available for that day. And so I don't need the physical cards really. I use the PDF version. I print out the chart, and I'm flying through Pocket Pennant Run, and it's so cool. I think I did print out a couple of teams just on regular paper. I mean, all the teams from '79 just on regular paper. I don't need to cut them up and get crazy because I'm just referencing them while I play on the computer companion. So for me, and you got the software that's included in both. But I mean, if you just want to go play a game, you click on it and you can print out the game for that day. Then you can play in any game you want. So for me, I mean, and I'm not saying dissuading you from getting the print game. I'm just saying for me, um, I wouldn't need the print game because I have everything I need in the software and on the PDF, which is that is a good thing for that game. Let me just say that's a good thing. Let's see here. Jay, playing some stone cold hockey, great time filler between things. Second and 10 football and PC Legends of boxing. Yep. Stone cold hockey's fun. I haven't played that. You know what it was is I played the crap out of that in the beta. I did. Let me just fix my light here so my camera doesn't go out of focus as much, hopefully. Hopefully. I played the crap out of the beta, and I was part of that, building that game, and a lot of what you see in the reports was because I pushed him to do it, and and so I really I still like the game. I still play a little bit, but I ended up I burnt myself out on it because I was playing it so much when I was doing the beta testing that I kind of burnt myself out. So I'm kind of just taking a break from that. I'll come back to that when I start getting back into my hockey phase. But right now I'm in a baseball phase. So that's the other reason why I'm not really playing the Stone Cold hockey. But it's fantastic. It's good. And I don't know which one I like better, the cards and dice, or if I like the PC version, because the PC version plays nice and quick and you can sit in the games. But the cards and dice version, it's so fun rolling to find your own guys and who gets the assist. And there's just something about rolling the dice. It's really, really fun. Robbie said he had an epic game the other night on Diamond Mine. Oh, he's playing 1919 and 1914. Hit 2 rain delays, an interference call, and then Cincinnati blows a 5-3 lead on a pass ball in the 10th. Nice. You're thinking about picking up player of the game, Golf from Downey. I think I have that one. I think I think I enjoy it too. Actually, it's that's the one that you have the cards. I think they're like color coded, and you roll the dice to see what they did that day. It's not a shot by shot. It's not even hole by hole. So let's just say his average is 72. I think there's 4 days. It's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the top of the card, and his average could be different for each day. And then you roll and you look at the card, and sometimes you just get his average. Sometimes it's an average -1, a +1. Sometimes you're checking his putting range or his drive range or something like that, or his irons, and that gets you your score. That's a fun game to get final scores. It really is. Sometimes I do like playing the shot by shot stuff, whether it's rolling dice or on the computer. But no, that does pretty well. It does a good job. Sam, happy Saturday. Yes, it is. Hopefully it is a happy Saturday. I just got done work a little while ago. Had a long day at work today, but I was going to play some tonight, but I thought I'd come on and chat instead so we can see what everyone else is playing. Say Ron is playing Stratomatic hockey for the first time. What do you think? What do you think, Ron? What do you think about? Are you playing PC or are you playing cards and dice? And what do you think of it? That was one of the first games after Shootout that I played. And that was my first foray into cards and dice. Ron was like, "Oh, you got to check out this game." So I was like, "Okay." So I'll check out Stratomatic, and it was really fun. And then that led to me playing other games and other games and other games. And that's kind of like where I am tonight. Is there's some people who play one game and they like it, and that's it, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I tend to bounce from game to game to game and try new games. Because if I didn't try new games, if I stayed with Strat and didn't do anything else, I wouldn't have found APA. And I love APA. And if I didn't do anything but APA, I wouldn't have found Hockey Bones. So it's the same thing with the baseball. I really liked the payoff pitch. I really liked the Strat. I really liked the APA. I like the pocket pennant run. And I gave Season Ticket a try. And it's like, oh my gosh, this game's awesome. So I keep trying new games and I keep finding games that I really like, And again, the great thing about all these games is there's not one I can say is the best because they all do something a little different. And that's why I play them all, because it's like this one does this really well and I'm in the mood for that. This one does this really well. I'm in the mood for that. This one does a little bit of both, but not enough of both. But that's why I play this, if you follow that right there. So I enjoy playing everything for different reasons. It depends what you're in the mood for. And that's the great thing. You have so many games to choose from. And you could just pick which ones you like and play the ones you like. And the ones you don't like, you don't play as much. And I even try to go back and play the games I don't like much just to give them a second try and see if it gets any better. Sometimes it does, and then sometimes it doesn't. Go back to the chat here. Sam finally got his second season copy in, setting up the 65 Browns versus the Steelers. Okay. Steeler fan dropping by. David dropping by. Yeah, we're doing okay. Around the layout. Hey, how are things over there at the house? Are they okay? I just want to check in, make sure everything's okay over there, because I know you had an issue over there at the house tonight around the layout. So hopefully everything's okay. Steeler fan, what do you got? I'm not interested when it comes to this topic since I play the same game for months at a time. Currently playing Soccer Blast still. Well, I go through those phases too. Maybe not months, but I go through a phase where I will just like play Hockey Bones and nothing else for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I'll get on a shootout phase, and then I'll get on a something else phase. And I was on a strat baseball phase doing the spiders, and I started I don't know if I started 74 or 75 or maybe both. And I was playing like the A's and the Reds and those. And I was just kind of kicking around, having some fun. But right now I'm on a season ticket baseball kick. And I've been playing that. And I can't wait to come home and play that. Today I was too tired. And I was gonna set it up and play tonight. And I was kind of going through the schedule, what games, because I printed out a bunch of teams the other night. I was like, I think I'm just gonna sit and chat tonight and not have to concentrate on the game. So, but I'm the same way. I'll go a long time playing one game. In fact, when I did the video game podcast, I did a video game podcast for 10 or 12 years. And they used to hate me because I would get on a video game kick and play just that one game. And so we'd come on the show, 6 weeks later. So what's everybody playing? And I'm playing the same game, but been playing for 6 weeks because I really, really like it. And I really don't want to play anything else because I'm really enjoying this. And they used to get mad at me. But it was all good. It was all good. Let's see here. Robbie, just one of those. Oh, he's talking about his game there. Yes. Ever had a game in any game you found it just to be outright bonkers? Yes, I've had a lot of crazy games. I think we all have had crazy games with just something, but that makes it fun. That makes it fun. When something goes awry, it makes it kind of fun because you can kind of create the visuals. Again, this is all theater of the mind we're playing here. So something crazy happens and you can just kind of come up with a story and make it fit. No matter what it is, no matter what it is. And we did a show on making it make sense, or when it makes sense, or whatever it was. And that was kind of based on ID Jester's football game, where he got like 2 or 3 penalties at the end. There are all these video reviews, and it was driving him nuts. It really was driving. You could see that he was having a hard time enjoying the game at that point because of all the craziness. And he's like, this just doesn't make sense. This would not happen in a normal game. Well, he's probably right, but the dice don't know that. When you roll the dice, anything can happen. I told you, I did that experiment. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Pittsburgh Steelers football 76. I think was it a 42-0 blowout by the Steelers or something like that? They crushed them, and they should have, because it was Tampa Bay was terrible. Steelers were the best team in the league. And I replayed that in 6 or 7 different games, and Tampa Bay won one of those games. It should have never happened. But I kept rolling low, which was good for Tampa, and that got them points. And I kept rolling high for Pittsburgh, which kept making them punt. And let me say, the scoring window was this big for Tampa Bay, right? And the punt window was this big for Steelers. And I wish I recorded the game. I wish I played it live, because those dice were just ridiculous. And I can't believe that Tampa Bay won. I just, and if I did it again 1,000 times, it probably wouldn't happen. But just, yeah, I've had crazy, crazy things. So Ron says he's doing the cards and dice. Scored me my first goal, but I'm learning mostly. Yeah, you know nothing about hockey. Here's what I suggest, Ron, is what was suggested to me is just don't change lines. And don't even do penalties off the bat. Just start off basic, get the puck to flow, find out, who gets the puck and why, and take some shots, get some rebounds. And then when you're comfortable with how things flow, add things, add your penalties, and then you can, play a power play or whatever. And then when you're comfortable with all that, then you do the line changes. But if you try to do everything at once, if you're not familiar with hockey and you try to do it all at once, you're going to get lost and you're going to get frustrated. So just take it just a step at a time and realize that, you're going to learn the basics of the game. And then you're going to add a few things along the way till you get to the point where you're ready to go. I started in the basic mode, and that got me going. And I found that advanced mode really wasn't all that different than basic. It was better, actually. The super advanced, I'm still working up to, especially on cards and dice, because I'm still learning all that. And there's still some things I don't like to use in super advanced Strat-O-Matic hockey. I don't like the passing L's and the tips and stuff like that. I don't think I like to use that, And let me see here. SU Jamie, he's more of a meat and potatoes game. He doesn't stray from games for each sport too much. Over the years, I've settled in. Even still, I have 3 games. Yeah, I got many games for each sport, and I get we settle in, but once in a while, you sit there and you're like, something. I think I'm in the mood for this, my weakness. Okay, it's almost like a TV commercial. You see a TV commercial for Kentucky Fried Chicken, you have to get Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? I'll be scrolling on the phone or whatever on Facebook, and I'm in a lot of sports groups, and someone will post a picture of either like an old football game or an old baseball game or an old hockey game. And it's like, oh, great. Now I got to go dig those teams up and play that game. It just like drops a bug in my ear. And it's like, I just can't, I have to go play the game. That's what I did with the Bruins and the Blues the other day. I think I played that in Apple Hockey. There was a picture of Sanderson on the Blues playing against the Bruins. And he played a handful of games with the Blues, and he did play against the Bruins. And I was like, damn it, I got to play that game now. It's kind of like Cartman on South Park when he's like, I'm sailing away. You start the song, he has to sing the whole song. He just can't help himself. That's kind of how I am. I see a picture of a sporting event, and it's like, yep, I got to go play that one. Oh, don't have the season? Better go buy it. It's just how I roll, just how I roll. Ted Cox got hosed. Yes, he did. Ted Cox did get hosed. I did. I actually screwed up. When I went back into the rules, I realized that I was reading the numbers wrong. So I think one of those errors was a base hit, so it didn't matter. But one of those errors should have been a catch, but still, I don't think it really mattered too much. Again, I'm learning the game. So when I'm learning the game, I forgive myself. I don't beat myself up anymore. And I go back, and that's why when I'm playing the season ticket game, I never say, hey, here's how you play it, folks, because I'm not at that point yet. I can show you what to look for on the cards and what they mean, but there's still a lot of things I'm having, I don't want to say trouble with, but there's a lot of things I'm still learning. For example, on the season ticket cards, they're um, they're rated for one position, but sometimes they play more than one. So if they're in that other position that's not on the card, you got to go to the rule book and kind of discern what that role is going to be. And it took me a while to get all that because the infield's got one, the outfield's got one, and the catcher has one, meaning one chart to read off of, and they're all very different. So you can't bring the infield chart into an outfielder. You have to convert that to outfield if you follow any of that. So I was having a problem doing that. It's slowly coming to me now what I need to do because I had a first baseman playing catcher because he did both. And I was like, oh boy, how do I even read this? But I figured it out, after, making some mistakes and, asking some questions. Some people said, yep, here's what you do. It's like, okay, now it makes a little bit more sense. So Sam is also learning hockey, playing Hockey Bones. I just found out about clearing and blocking. Yes, Hockey Bones is great. I did a little video a couple weeks ago on the basics of hockey. So if someone that wasn't aware of like the basics of hockey, in cards and dice playing, I kind of talked about that a little bit. So I don't know if you saw that. That may or may not help. I don't know how far along you are, but it just kind of explained what to expect when you're playing cards and dice hockey. Is kind of what that video was all about. In Hockey Bones, I tell you, that's one game that I avoided for the longest time, and now I love it. Now there's a lot of symbols on it, and there's a lot of things going on, and there's a lot of steps like again, the clearing and the blocking. And I always forget to do that sometimes. I'll roll the dice and I'll forget to check for the block. But once you get the groove in, once you get in the habit of saying, okay, on this particular play, I got to first check for a block. And if it's not blocked, then the shot goes through. And then I got to check for a clear. And you do all these things. It all makes sense, and it's not hard. There's just a lot of steps. And that's what the way season ticket baseball is. There's a lot of steps. And none of the steps are hard, but you just have to remember all the steps. And I remember that was the case with fast action football from Downey. That was one of my favorite football games, play-by-play game, and just flip the cards, and it told you everything about the play, and the charts were easy to read, and I really, really liked that game. But there was so many steps. I think that you flip might have been 7 or 8 cards, maybe more, just for a punt. Is there a penalty? Is the snap good? Is the punt blocked? How far is the punt? Who gets the punt? Does he run it back? Is there a penalty on the return? And it's just I had to create a cheat sheet for punts because there were so many cards you had to flip, and you were checking so many things on a punt. So none of it was difficult. It's just remembering it all. That's where I am with Hockey Bones too. There's a lot to remember, and a lot of times, sometimes I'll get it right, and sometimes I'll be like, "Oh, I haven't been checking for this. Oops." But it's all good. You play the game and just enjoy it. Steeler fan, what do you got? You tend to do big projects, and I play straight through till I finish most of the time. Anyway, no, I don't. No, not me. I have the Golden Corral syndrome where I get hooked on a game and I play the crap out of it and I enjoy every bit of it. And then one day I play something else, and for some reason that other game just kind of slowly goes to the back of the room, and I'm too busy playing other games, and then I get a kick on that. So when I finish a project, I get pretty excited, and I try to go shorter projects, short, medium projects, something that I can actually finish is what I like to do. So if you can finish projects, that's awesome. That is so good. So. And Al just jumped in the chat room. He was playing a boxing game. I was watching most of that. And I still don't know how that game plays, but I did watch most of that. And what else we got in the chat room here? Sam, Hockey Bones can be a bit overwhelming. Yes, it is. There's a lot of symbols on the card, but that chart, okay, the one page has everything on there, and it tells you everything you need. And did you get the Peter Miller cheat sheet? Okay, that is key with Hockey Bones. Peter Miller created a cheat sheet, and I think it's on the Hockey Bones website, and you can get it for free. And I have 2 pages in front of me. I have the Hockey Bones chart, and on the left, I have the Peter Miller cheat sheet. And there might be 2 pages of the Peter Miller cheat sheet. And it tells you, it just reminds you about all kinds of things. So while you're playing the game, if you get stuck, you look at the cheat sheet, And it kind of like, oh yeah, on a shot it's this, on a penalty it's that, on this it's that, and it just reminds you. Like sometimes a red 6 is is something a little different, and that cheat sheet reminds you. So if you don't have that, get that, because that really does a good job of clarifying some of the little things in the game that you may forget or forget how to do. And that's a good point, Steeler fan. I am the same way. It might be why I don't switch games as much. There's something to be said for playing games over and over and over. I mean, I've done that, and you get into a groove. That's the thing. You get into a groove. You can play and you play and you play and you play and you play, and then all of a sudden, one day you play a different game, and then you get in that groove. you know, and so that's what you do there. And Robbie is what I think I've learned about myself too with Diamond Mine is that on the computer for sure I am tending to gravitate towards games that I have really strong, good play-by-play. That comes into play a little bit. It does. Sometimes I really like to watch the play-by-play, and that gets me immersed in the game. And other times I kind of like to make up my own. And sometimes in Strat I'll read the play-by-play, and sometimes I'll just make up my own, and so it's a little bit of both. I do like in the action PC games, which is brilliant, is you could add your own play-by-play. That is really fun. And I've done that in the hockey. And I did it one season. I must have spent hours one night just adding to the play-by-play. Hang on, I'm going to open my window here. It's getting kind of hot down here. Excuse me one second. It's winter time, but all the lights make it hot down here. So I'm going to open my window. You can see my Chief shirt. Yeah, you can see my Chief shirt. So I did in the hockey game. I went in and it gives you, I think it gives you like 10 spaces. And then you could add 10 or something like that. Or maybe you can add, 15 or 20 different lines. But like if a goal is scored, if it hits the post, if it does this, if it does that, and you add all your things in, and I was adding all my play-by-play in there, and that would come up in the game. I was like, yep, that's mine, that's mine, that's mine. And that was so cool. So cool that you could do that. And you could change the pronunciation of players. Like they couldn't get Johnny Busick right. So you got to go in and change it to something really weird to get it to say Busick, and things like that. So Action PC does a great job of really customizing that experience. It was really kind of fun. Al, Red Sox fan, stopping by. Some people saying hi to Al. Al just had a great boxing game, as I was talking about. I was watching that, and I was like, ooh, that was kind of neat. Yeah, apologies to Ted. I screwed up Ted. He was playing in left field for the Indians in 79, and I gave him 3 errors in one game. Never should have happened. Never should have happened. And you got the Soccer Blast in. Yeah, the play games cards are very small. The Hockey Blast cards, those are very small too. Although I ran into someone a few months ago. It was on Facebook, and he sent me a spreadsheet for Excel for hockey and baseball that allows you to make the cards like apple size if you want them bigger. Now, you have to enter all the information. He just gives you the template, so he didn't give anything away that Play created, but he gives you the template, so you got to drop the logos in yourself. You got to type in the name and all the qualities, but it's all there. You kind of click around. It's all set up to do, so you do have to have the card to do that. But it was kind of great, so I created a couple of teams, and the cards were bigger, and they were much easier to use. I really, really did like that, but now it's a lot of work to go in there and do that. So I guess if I played a ton of it, then I might do that. And Tommy Ball Game comes by. How you doing, bud? We got a bunch of people in tonight. I'm just kind of asking what everybody is playing. I want to see what you're all playing. I was telling you what I was playing. I'm bouncing back and forth between Pocket Pennant Run and Season Ticket Baseball. Season Ticket Baseball, like I said, I keep talking about it because I really like it. It reminds me of Hockey Bones because it's not a difficult game, but there's a lot to remember, and it kind of challenges me to get it right. And I'm learning, and I'm still not getting it all right, but it's what I like about Pocket Pennant Run, it spoon feeds you the results. And sometimes I want that. I just want my results, and I want to put it in. Other times, I want to work for it, okay? And Season Ticket makes me work for it sometimes. Just enough, not too much where I'm frustrated, and not too much where I'm sitting there going through the rule book over and over, but enough that it's not, It's not just a piece of cake. So sometimes you have to work for it. Check out the cheat sheet. Yeah. Yep. Look for that. I think it's right on the Hockey Bones site. PT Sports is what it is. I think it was something like that. And look for the Peter Miller cheat sheet. Download that. I think it's 2 pages, and it's fantastic. And in fact, just read it a couple times. It's kind of a good it's a good refresher of the rules too. It really is. And you did get the detailed penalty sheet. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I use that once in a while. Sometimes when I play a game, penalty's a penalty's a penalty. A 2-minute penalty. Sometimes it's fun to see what it is. It is. Sometimes I'll roll the dice. Okay, what was this? Oh man, this is a playing with a broken stick or something. Sometimes you get a rare one. It's kind of neat. It just kind of adds to the immersion, as we say. And you should pick up Dice United very quickly. Okay. I thought he was going to say, you should pick it up. I already did, but you said you should pick it up and play. I should learn it very quickly. That's what I get. Very similar to Stone Cold Hockey. Yeah. The how-to guide, you can only create fictional teams, but you have the stats, you can create real teams. Okay, good. Yeah, they brought their toys. They did. I was just talking about, I got this, Amazon had a sale. It was ridiculous. I think I got home and away, and it was like, oh my gosh, these things are so cheap. It's like, I was expecting them to come in and having them be just, I don't know what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting this quality. This is really good quality. I mean, they were probably, like I say, 20% of the normal price for a hawk, what I would expect to pay for this. I was like, okay, I'm gonna get it. So, I know they're probably made in China, but to wear it on the show and maybe play a couple of hockey games at the rink with it should be kind of fun. And yeah, none of that sticking repair. Yeah, you know what's kind of funny? There's a couple old theaters uptown that I go to, and there's one there that they both play bands, but they both play movies, so they're kind of the same. They're around the corner from each other, and one of them was it last Thursday night or the Thursday before that was playing Slapshot the movie, and I'm wondering if they played the actual Slapshot or if there's a toned down version of it. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these movies that were made in the 70s, you're not allowed to watch anymore because they upset people, or parts of the movie upset people. So I was wondering, I didn't go, but I was tempted to go. And also, one of the theaters, the main theater here in town, not the older one, like the modern theater that plays all the modern movies, for one night only. And I think that was a Thursday night too. They had Godzilla vs. Mechagodzilla 2. They had a theatrical presentation of that. I was tempted to go to that. I really was. I was really tempted to go see Godzilla, an old Godzilla movie in the theater. But the thing is, I've seen those so many times. Every time they're on TV, I watch them. And I'm like, so I really want to go to the theater. And I know it'd be great, but watch a movie that I've seen so many times. And I think I own it on a streaming service or two, So, Steeler fan, the Soccer Blast cards are definitely very small, but you really only need the symbols off of them so they are ready to play. Yeah, that's all you just got to do is look at the qualities and the symbols on the card. I think is what you need. And Robbie, what do you got here? I also think what you're saying about Jess, I think he needs to remember these games are simulations. They're not real life. Crazy things will happen. It's best to enjoy the experience. Yeah. But let me put a little but there, okay? But when you're playing a game, and I do this with hockey games too, when you keep rolling penalty after penalty after penalty after penalty, it just takes you out of the flow of the game. The game becomes so choppy because, especially with hockey, penalties really wreck a hockey game. I hate to say it, but they do. Most hockey games play really well. When it comes to penalties, no matter what the game is, although I will say I think Hockey Bones does it the best. Most other games, I still get a little confused at what to do with the penalties. If it wasn't for Mike Berger's penalty chart for Apple Hockey, wouldn't have a clue on how to do Apple penalties. No clue at all. Strat, I still struggle with super advanced power play. I did try it a couple times and I got it to work, so I think I'm going to keep trying that. But the penalties are a problem in hockey. And so when you get them over and over and over and over and over, it wrecks the game. And I think what ID's problem was that night was that he was playing the game, and it was like all these penalties, and then he had all these review checks, and he goes, "This would never happen in real life." He goes, "This many reviews and this many things at the end of the game wouldn't." And then I think he got like a rare play of something like really obscure, and he's just like, "This would never happen." And I know I just said that any scenario you can create a narrative for that game. I know I just said that, but at the same time, there is a level of reality that you do want out of these games. And when something goes so far the other way, you tend to say to yourself, is this what I want? Am I having fun now? And he wasn't having fun at that point. And there was a couple games that I played. I got so many penalties in a row. I wasn't having fun. I just rolled penalty after penalty after penalty. It's like, this is ridiculous. I think it was one of my first APA games. Like, holy cow, am I really going to get this many penalties in a game of APA or whatever game I was playing? And someone says, well, that season has a lot of penalties. Well, maybe I should try a different season. And I think a game of Hockey Bones did too. My first couple games of Hockey Bones, like, look at all these penalties. So I actually bought some dice. I don't have them over. I bought some dice so I can roll now. So when I get later in the third period, now I roll for penalties. So if I get a penalty, I roll. And as it gets closer to the end of the game, the percentage of that penalty actually happening gets less and less and less to kind of simulate a real game. You know what I mean? So around the 5-minute mark, I'll start questioning penalties. And then around the 3-minute mark, I'll question penalties. And then in the final couple of minutes, I really got to get that dice roll to be right on for a penalty. So I still don't have it down to exact science, but I'm playing around with that. I really am. And let's see, David, what do you got here? Currently playing wall-to-wall indoor football classic. Oh, wall-to-wall indoor football and classic F1. How are they there? I'm going to check out that wall-to-wall indoor football, I think. And you said that was not a quick play game, and also classic F1. I was interested in that, Slapshot 2 was good. I enjoyed Slapshot 2. It wasn't Slapshot 1. Slapshot 2 was good. Slapshot 3 was horrible. I don't even think I got all the way through 3. Slapshot 2 was pretty darn good. It really was. It'll never match up, okay, to the original. And people were like, oh, it's supposed to be better than you can't beat the original Slapshot. But Slapshot 2, it had its moments. It really did. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed Slapshot 2. I've only seen it a couple times, but it was pretty good. So if you haven't seen Slapshot 2, just try to enjoy it for what it is and don't try to think that it's going to be the original Slapshot. It's got a little bit of original Slapshot in it, but for the most part, it's a newer version. P-Jet coming by. He's still playing his shootout replay, 74-75 Seal Scouts and Capitals. Yeah. P-Jet, I want to ask you. I meant to email you. If you think of it, P-Jet, email me so we can connect here because I've just been so busy. Have you played Stone Cold hockey yet? Have you played it yet? Do you have it? I wanted to ask you that. And I meant to email that, and I just keep getting pulled away. So I haven't. So if you think of it, email me and let me know that if you've played that or not. But that's a fun. I've been following that on the Delphi there, that shootout replay, and I want to play more. It's a shootout 74-75 season come out, and I want to play more of that. I really, really do. But I'm just on a baseball kick right now. Go figure. Hockey season with the Bruins, the top team in the league. I'm playing baseball. Okay. He likes sports genre films. Do you think Slapshot is the best? I don't know if it would be the best. Obviously, I'm a hockey fan and I really like it, but there's a lot of my cheek is falling off. There's a lot of really good sports ones. We have a guest. Hang on a sec, folks. We are being invaded.
Hello, Uncle Dave.
Good to talk to you. We haven't talked in a long time.
How's everything going?
Busy. I'm just busy with work. I got these new jobs I'm doing. Yeah.
Congrats on that, man.
It's been exciting. Yeah. Yep. We got paid a really, really good compliment by the college DA. He was home. I don't know if you heard this, but he was home sick watching the hockey game that we are broadcasting. And he sends my broadcasting partner a message. He goes, "Why are you guys not doing Hockey East or something like that?" I thought that was a pretty darn good compliment. Yeah, I mean, it's like, holy cow. So
dog get me? Oh no, I thought the dog got dirt. That's just a shadow.
It's a shadow.
Captain Fantastic, our hunting dog, decides he wants to go out this early morning. No, it was early afternoon. Excuse me. And it's been raining here, right? Thank God it's not snow. And finds the mud puddle, of course, makes the
Oh
mud
yeah.
puddle, face in it. I look out. I was like, oh, and he comes to the door and he's like, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I'm like, no, 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 Captain Fantastic, you shouldn't. But you can't get mad at him. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. So
We used to take the dogs to the beach and they used to roll on the beach and all the sand and like, oh my gosh, that was fun. That was fun.
he
Ron
has
the
a
layout
white.
says, is anyone ever taken a sports movie, did a sports sim game with the teams and the players in a film? Kind of, sort of. I did that with Action PC Hockey.
You did
I
the Charlestown
created.
Chiefs.
I think I did I did Team Hollywood. I did
Oh,
Team
that's what you did.
Hollywood. I took the three Chiefs and Paul Newman, and I added like Mighty Ducks, Charlie Conway, Fulton Reed,
Yeah.
Goldberg in the net, and I think I took the guy from the Mustangs there, in Youngblood. And I think and then I took a couple of guys from Mystery Alaska, I think. So I created Team Hollywood with all these
I remember
fictitious,
you did
because it's
something
hard
like
to get a
that.
whole slapshot team, because I think there was only like a dozen guys. In most games, you require a lot more than that. So I created Team Hollywood. I created Team Hollywood, and I had them play some other teams around it. But I did create a team with that. But it is kind of hard because, like like the main characters, but you don't really have enough to fill in the entire team.
You'd have to put some quote unquote fictional, even though they're all fictional.
Yeah.
Some people in there, but that would be fun. That would be fun if someone actually did come up with that you could download and do, because that'd be fun to play. I was thinking about with Stone Cold Hockey. I looked at that Excel, but that's kind of,
it's not as hard as you think.
it looks difficult.
No, it's not as hard as you think. It's all laid out. All you got to do is just type in the names and you're good to go, pretty much. So Doug lives in the town where Slapshot was filmed. Do they have the have you been to the Hall of Fame, Doug? Because I heard one of the rinks has got like a Hall of Fame room for Slapshot. Saw that on YouTube.
It's funny you're wearing the Chiefs shirt. Nurse Teresa and I, we watched that 2 weeks ago.
Really?
I watch that 2-3 times a year.
Yeah,
I own it. I have it on DVD. They brought their in toys.
Yeah.
He goes, at least they're not playing with themselves. They're too stupid to play with themselves.
I watched something on YouTube the other day. It had one of the Hanson brothers. It was probably like 4 or 5 years old, and he went back and he revisited that area that probably Doug lives in.
Did he?
Yeah, and he walked around. He talked about the movie. He's like, there's the pharmacy where Paul Newman walked in and did and here was his wife's hair salon. And here's the bench where they sat on, and she was, the guy's wife was drunk and he was talking to her, and here's where the parade was, and they went into the rink, and he's like, the rink's all different, but here's where Paul Newman walked up and says, who owns the Chiefs,
owns.
Yeah,
I don't care who owns. We go to Florida and I get the money. I love that movie. The whole in the beginning, I mean, if that movie doesn't care, in the beginning when he goes, you cheap bastard, he goes, the guy, he goes, I'm gonna whip it out and wiggle it, and the only person not gonna scream is my wife.
Yeah, that was funny.
I hope you have a heart attack.
Yeah, Steeler fan. He's got a place near him that plays old horror movies every Friday night, Friday the 13th and stuff like that. Yeah, I remember, 1980 when that first one come out, and we watched it over somebody's house. It was like, holy cow, how can they make a movie like this? Yeah, and now that's nothing. You watch it now, you're like, oh, whatever.
They made a video game, for God's sakes. So people, it's like,
yeah. I heard it was pretty good too.
So you just my nephews played it, and some other people. You just basically chase around. You either the victims or the killer. And it's like hide and seek, and you have to escape.
Yeah,
that's what it is. With decapitations.
I gotta say that Airplane 2 might have been a little more funnier than Airplane 1.
You think so?
Airplane, either that or they were neck and neck. Airplane 2 was.
They're both good, but
fantastic. The whole courtroom scene.
They're good.
That's where I got. If it pleases the court, that is Airplane 2. When you guys are on here, and I go, if it pleases the court.
Oh, when you do that, yeah, with Ron.
Yeah, that is right out of Airplane 2.
I just
The whole
what
courtroom scene, and then the whole space
the
shuttle
guy who
thing.
was the pilot in Airplane One, Peter Graves.
Yeah.
Billy, do you like Gladiator movie? They would never make that now.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
It was just, and he's like, "Is that a male dog, Billy?" And the dog's like,
And how about when they walked in the airport and oh, no dogs in a plane? I'm afraid Scraps is gonna have to be shot.
yeah.
Shoot the dog and like, no, he's
And
fine.
the guy goes over the other guy's house because he's got to talk the other guy down with the airplane, and the other dog just like basically jumps on him and does all kinds of. That's a funny Airplane was funny.
Airplane and Airplane 2 were both really, really
June
good.
Barbara
Yeah,
Billingsley talking.
yeah,
The whole movie is
yeah,
funny. I
yeah.
mean,
It
people
really
might look
was.
at it now and go, "Not get it," but that whole movie. I mean, Slapshot. I heard you before I came on because I'm only going to stay on for a little bit because I'm going to play cards with Nurse Teresa. You're saying how some of those. You said what Nurse Teresa and I were talking about when we were watching Slapshot. They would never put this movie on now. This would never. They'd be like, "Well, that's kind of offensive. This is kind of offensive."
Yeah.
The classic. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to get in trouble. But the classic is, if his wife's that, does that make him a?
Yeah. Oh, there's so many lines in it. Yeah,
this is hilarious.
Yeah. And someone brought up today on Facebook that the Hanrahan the goalie.
Yeah.
And Paul Newman was sleeping with his wife, and they were in bed, and it showed her topless.
Yep.
Right.
That's the mom from. Now I'm going to tell you something funny.
Christmas Story, right?
Teresa, and I'm not ashamed.
Okay? It's like someone said that wrecked the Christmas movie for them when she found that out.
She's the mom in A Christmas Story. Now, when I was watching A Christmas Story before I knew that, I was always kind of aroused when watching her, and I couldn't understand why. Now I know why. She's the mom.
I never knew that. I didn't put two and two together.
No, she's the mom in Christmas Story.
Yep. I didn't put 2 and 2 together.
Gavin McLeod, you did okay.
I want to go back and watch Kolchak the Night Stalker. I do.
Kolchak. Oh my God. You can find almost all of them on YouTube.
Oh, really?
Okay? You can find, I don't know if you remember the movies too. The movies that actually came before the show.
I think you two said that, but I never seen the movies. I saw the show.
I watched, I'm telling you, I know they're goofy, some of them. They're 70s acting. Get by that, people. It's actually pretty good.
Let me tell you.
I watched it twice all the way through.
As a kid, and was that 70s or early 80s? I forget which
70s.
Okay. Must be late 70s, mid to late 70s. Because
it's 70s, definitely 70s.
Because when he did his thing.
What the Gavin? Not McLeod. What the hell is his name?
McCannis? Gavin McLeod?
I said McLeod. I don't know if that's right, but he was the guy from The Natural. He played the bookmaker.
I used to be so scared watching that as a kid. Like when he went in, there was one that had a suit of armor with the axe, and he was in there and he was looking for ghosts, and the suit of armor fell over. I jumped out of my skin. When he was in the sewers hunting for the monster, and he come up with his hat out of the water, I was scared. I was like, "Oh my gosh!"
Watch, I'll find it. I'll send the link to you. There's one with a vampire. It's absolutely. Get past the acting. It doesn't bother. The other people are like, "Oh, it's the 70s. That's the way they acted. It's cheesy." It's one of the best. And then the cops are like, "Nothing happened here," even though they knew it happened. They're like, "Just get out of town." Is it Gavin McLeod? What the hell is his name?
So if somebody's in the chat, look up Kolchak the Night Stalker and see his name was Gavin. Somebody made the Bad News Bears and their rival Yankees for History Maker Baseball and replayed it on YouTube. That's pretty cool.
We just watched that movie too. Darren McGavin. Wow.
Darren McGavin.
My dyslexia. Okay. I combined both names. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve. That was Yeah. It was McGavin. Gavin. Yes, I get that. Yeah.
So it's Darren McGavin or something like. I combined both names.
So David's talking about wall to wall isn't quick play. Okay, and Ron did this series of videos in Classic F1. Okay, so Ron did play F1. Okay, I wasn't sure if he did or not. Okay. And Ray, for similar reasons, we need a road trip to Sudbury. Yeah. Is that going to be at a Sudbury Saturday night?
Saturday night.
Al, have you ever seen on Hulu? Did you ever watch the series Shoresy?
You're the second person.
Did you ever see?
It's a hockey thing, right?
Did you ever see Letterkenny?
No.
Letterkenny is a Canadian comedy series. I think there's 10 seasons. I think there's 6 episodes in a season. And it is just weird Canadian humor, but it's hysterical, and it has a hockey theme in there. And they did a spin-off of just the hockey, and it was probably one of the best hockey television series that we've ever seen.
Our good friend from Facebook, Mr. Rothman, says Kolchak was the inspiration for the X-Files. I believe that.
I do not doubt that 1 second.
I've watched it through twice. The best part is Darren McGavin, right, was such a pain in the ass after so many. It only went one season. He didn't want. It was supposed to go even long. Like that season was supposed to be like 30. They cut it off at 26 or something because he didn't want to do it anymore.
Really?
And they were sick of him, and he was sick of them because he said the first 3-4 episodes, he was a pain in the ass, I guess, to work with, supposedly, from what I read. Okay. I don't know the man, God rest his soul. I'm just saying stuff I read because he goes, it became Monster of the Week, and it pissed him off because at first they were doing kind of like interesting stuff. It was just like the same basic script, and a new Monster Girl gang. I liked it. I loved it as a kid.
I don't think I've ever seen the Slapshot commentary on the DVD. I don't think I've seen
the DVD I have doesn't. I don't think it has that. The one I have. It's just such a well done movie. It's funny
for the time, yeah, and it is really based on actual events with a little bit of Hollywood flair, but it's pretty darn close to what happened.
I mean, you know, I'm not. If you haven't seen Slapshot or you haven't watched it in a long time, you can find it out there on a streaming service.
Oh yeah,
or just go watch it. It's fun.
Yeah.
I mean, and watch it unedited. I mean, it's still funny edited because you can figure out what they're saying, but they cut out certain parts because they can't. I mean, on regular TV, you can't show that. I get that. When I was a kid, the first time I saw it was on regular TV, and I laughed. And then when I got the
VCR, the
I went,
oh yeah. Have you the only one of the funniest commentaries I saw was Spinal Tap. That movie Spinal Tap. They had a commentary of the three guys.
Lenny was in it.
Yeah,
the blonde. I can never. That was a good movie. That's right up your alley because you like.
Yeah, those three guys did a commentary. The three guys, and I forget their names now. Christopher Guest, Harry Shearer, and
the guy who played Lenny.
The guy that played, I forget his name, Michael McKeenan or something like that. McKeenan.
Yep, Michael McKeenan.
And so they did a commentary of that, and that was really funny to watch. They just talked over the movie, and they would just be in themselves, and it was freaking hilarious. I really enjoyed that. All right, now we're gonna get back to this right here. So you can like Airplane 2, but I call your judgment into question and say it might be better than 1. Watch them back to back again. I haven't watched them in a long time. Watch them. It was really good. It was
if it
very
makes you
good.
Laugh, I'm gonna tell you. I'm going to give you a movie. It's an English movie, Death at a Funeral. It's the little guy from Game of Thrones. He's in it, and it's basically, unfortunately, someone's father passes away, right? And it's them doing, and you find out to me, that's a hidden gem comedy, Death at a Funeral. They did an American version, and the guy from Game of Thrones is in that one too, except it's an African-American family. And it's pretty. Oh God, why can't I think of his name? Peter Billy. Oh God. My
Dinklage.
Yeah, Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage.
Yeah. So if PJ didn't like Shorzy, and Ray says I gotta agree with Ray. You gotta watch it. If you watch it twice, more things come up, and more things are just hilarious. It really is.
There was a baseball movie show on HBO with oh God, I can see the guy. Kenny. They kept going, hello, Tim. He basically was a washed up pitcher. Eastbound and Down. It's with you ever see Pineapple Express? I'm trying to
probably.
He's one of the guys in Pineapple Express. Oh my God, why can't I think? But he always does these goofy comedies. It was a TV series on HBO, and he was basically a washed up, arrogant pitcher. And he was a gym teacher now, MLB pitcher. And it was just, what the hell was his name? I can't. Oh God, I'm gonna have to find a picture. But that was a good one. So
back in 1995, I don't know why this came to me. I was unemployed in 95. That was the last time before COVID I was unemployed. It was 25 years before, and I just couldn't sleep. So I'd be up all night and all day, just nothing to do, and didn't have any money to do anything. So I decided to watch a movie, and I ended up in the middle of the night watching these old black and white baseball movies. And there was one that was called It happens every spring. And it was about this guy that showed up at camp, and I don't know which camp it was, Cardinals or the Cubs or something. Yeah. And he had this substance he created that would avoid a wooden bat. And so he had a hole in his glove, and he would put this substance on there, and he would throw the ball, and the guy would swing the bat, and the ball would go whoop over the bat. And so he became like the top pitcher in the league because of this there. Yeah, and it was just a whole funny story about how they're like, he went up, he shows up, he's like, I want to pitch. And the guy's like, all right. So they throw in a scrub, right? And like, okay, now throw in our best hitter. Yeah. And the best hitter on the team couldn't hit him. And they're like, oh my gosh, this guy's got something really going on here. And it just followed along. And then of course at the end, he ran out of stuff. It wasn't working anymore. And they were hitting him around. And somebody hit a line drive and he caught it with his hand and he won the game, but he could never pitch again. But I think it was called It Happens Every Spring.
Those are the baseball movie. That's interesting. I remember a little kid, I don't remember the name. No, was a cat inherited a team. That was kind of.
I think remember that.
Rhubarb. I think it was called Rhubarb for some reason. It sticks in my head. A cat inherited a baseball team. Again, that was kind of fun. You want to talk about fun sports movies? It just popped in my head. You remember Gus the Kicking Mule?
Oh, yes.
Yovich. Remember the guy?
Welcome to the NFL. Was that Butkus?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that was good.
A fun movie.
That was really good. Yeah. They should make a remake of that. That would be great.
They should. Those were fun.
Do you remember the name of the team?
You remember
the name? What was the name? Was trivia question? What was the name of the team?
Miami Adams.
The Adams. Yeah. Exactly
was it Miami?
Right. I don't know, but it was the Adams.
It was the Adams. I remember the thing on their helmet. Yeah. And I think the guy used to say Yovich or something like that.
Hey, Scott, good to see you here. Oh, you're playing Dice United. Hey, let me ask you, Scott. As someone who's played both and is playing both, I just bought Dice United on Black Friday.
Game, Dice United.
I haven't played it yet. How close to Stone Cold Hockey is it? And do you think, and someone else has said I should be able to pick it up pretty quick because I played Stone Cold Hockey. Yes. Is it that close? And I know nothing about soccer. Soccer. So is that going to hurt me? Or does this game kind of walk you through it? Because the Stone Cold Hockey, you don't need to know anything about hockey. And it pretty much, aside from the penalties, and it'll walk you through like what happened on the play.
No, it plays very similar. And like he got Stone Cold Hockey, the gist of the game from the soccer game. Right. And like you and Uncle Ron were saying on had to be Digital Dice. I was listening to it. How you adjust it, like, well, that's not the way they would do it in hockey, but it's very similar. It's a very fun game.
Okay.
Very fun game. I picked up, only because I've been on a play, I picked up this.
Oh, the Soccer Blast. Okay.
Yeah, and I didn't go nuts. Yeah, because I've been watching video. Now, the tennis was the perfect speed for me because it's 1 against 1. I'm not doing.
You're liking the tennis, right?
Yeah, I'm just doing the play by point by point.
Yeah, that's what I'd want to play too.
And if people want to do the tournament, God, do the things that make you happy. I'm sitting there going, I think I want to do the point. Hi, Ray.
What's happening?
And but I got this, and I've been watching videos because it was either this or and now I'm thinking I should have got the golf because I again can go 1 against.
I've played the golf.
Why did you play the golf?
The golf is so good. If you play it start to finish, like from the tournament, like
I watch it.
Okay, it's a 4 to 5 hour event, but it's one of those things like after supper you start playing, and you're so by the end you're so into it, and you're watching the hole by hole and the shot by shot come down the last few guys, and you watch the lead changes, and you look up, it's 1 o'clock, and you're like, no way! I've been at this for 5 hours. Time flies because it is so cool.
I think. Did you pick up the tennis? I think you did, right?
I got to play tennis. Yeah, I haven't printed it out yet, but I do have it.
Now, what I did was I didn't print it because I was like, I can do this with the Excel, and I'm enjoying that. But
okay, so I should pick it right up. Okay,
yeah, the Dice United very similar to Stone Cold Hockey.
Herman Munster playing with the Dodgers.
Yes.
That's another good one.
Is that why you're wearing that hat tonight?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah. Yeah. They had ridiculous sale on shirts. I got a lot of shirts on Amazon on Cyber Monday because I was like, you got to be kidding me. I got a really cool Fulton Reed Ducks jersey. Let's see if I can find it. Is it behind me over here?
Ray, when they say these cards are small,
Might be. I don't know.
These cards are small. I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you're used to Strat and you're used to APA, yeah, they are very, very small.
Well, you can maybe get the deluxe edition that comes with a magnifying glass.
Yeah. No, but it's I
you get used to it because you lay them all out on the table and they're all right there to see. But
this one only has, because golf has that the book that you flip, right? The booklet, golf game, like baseball.
Yeah.
This doesn't. This has a few charts. So
well, the hockey doesn't. The hockey has the Hockey Blast, which is probably similar.
Yeah.
It has its regular strength fold open, so it's regular strength 2 pages. On a power play, you flip the page and there's a power play, and those are your main pages in the game.
This has 4 charts, so it's not bad. I've been watching a lot of History Maker baseball videos. Every time I think I understand it by just watching,
there's a lot to it. Yeah, I tried it. I have it, and I tried it, and there's some things I really like about it. But there's a lot to remember, and at the time I was like, okay, I really don't have the proper time to give this a good. Some games you pick right up, and other games like, okay, this is going to be when I'm going to really have to, like Hockey Bones went on the shelf for about a year because I wasn't ready to give it the time. And that's kind of what happened in History Maker Baseball. I was like, man, this has got some really fun aspects to it, but I'm just struggling enough that I need to put this aside, Have you played season ticket baseball, Al?
Whoa, swag.
No, I haven't. I've watched you play and a couple other people. It looks interesting. And then poor Ray hasn't got a word in edgewise. I'm going to shut up in a second. But and I know Ray does the trains, right? Is Ray the?
Yes. Yeah. Ray has his own podcast.
Yeah.
It's called Around the Layout, and he has guests on all the time. We do the guests every once in a while on our show, but Ray has guests on all the time.
That's cool.
He talks to all kinds of different people. So we'll get.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I don't know if Ray, do you do sports gaming too, or just the?
I don't, and I was going to ask a question about it, but continue on.
Okay, because I want to ask a question about trains and stuff. But Dave, and out to the chat before I leave to kick Nurse Teresa's ass in cards. One of the things when you have like sales and stuff, or you're looking for a game, am I going to play the game and can I learn it quick enough where I can enjoy it? Because there's nothing worse, and no knocking. I'm not going to mention games because there's not. Believe me, it's not the game. It's me. I'm sitting there going, I didn't pick up on this quick. Do I want to learn this, or do I want to play game B, which I know, or game A, I want to play.
Well, the quick thing about that is I've run into some games that like Season Ticket just clicked. It's a deep game, and it's not difficult, but there's a lot to it, but it clicked, and everything about it just clicks, and I'm learning the little nuances.
Yeah.
There's some games I struggle, like you said, you struggle with. You're like, man, do I really want to fight through this or not? Is this really worth it when I can play something I know I like and can play? But if you don't try new things, I like the Strat, and then if I didn't play APA, I wouldn't love APA as much as I do. And then if I didn't try Hockey Bones, I wouldn't have found Hockey Bones, which I love. So I find that I like to try different games because you never know. Like a game like Season Ticket Baseball comes out of nowhere. It's like, this is awesome. Pocket Pennant Run. It's awesome.
Clay did a nice job with that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Season Ticket is so good. It's so good. So
RF says, I'm learning Soccer Blast. I listened and I know nothing about soccer. You will pick it up. Al also want to learn Dice United, but I'm hung up on extra time rules. That messed me up too with the extra time rules a bit. And I have to go back and play soccer, Dice United. I haven't played in a while. It's very similar because I've been enjoying the hockey game so much. You roll a dice, and then the extra time, because in soccer, if there's what they call extra time, you add it at the end, just like in a real game. So I'd have to go back over that. Gary's a great guy, and if you have Facebook, I would suggest to join
the Summit.
Stone Mountain Press.
I think it's the Summit.
Summit, that's it. The Facebook group. Yeah. They'll answer all your. There's so many nice people in that group that help me. So
Yeah.
now, train question.
Go.
Ray, do you remember your first train set?
Absolutely. Still have it.
Awesome.
Still have
When
it.
did you get it?
Age 1, 2, 3, somewhere around there. My old man went crazy when he had a boy. He just started buying a whole bunch of stuff. So
and with trains, because my brother did that for a while.
Yep.
And he would get new pieces, like you'd
Yep.
add to it. And you get like it, like little town stuff and all that. Now, do you do all? You have a big setup? I've never.
I've got a relatively small setup. It's called a switching layout.
Yep.
Which is more designed for prototypical-ish operations, like switching, not continuous loop. It doesn't run in a circle. It just goes point to point.
Yep.
But there's industries, and I have rail cars that are specific to the product that's being brought to those industries, and you use cards. I wish I had one with me. I'd kind of show one up, but it's funny. Dave and I talk about this so often about the similarities, and that's what we're using. We have cards that basically are waybills, tells you what's in the car, where it came from, where it's going, and then you take your train and you deliver it, and then you pick up loads, and the waybills flip the other direction to take the
There's
car
a lot
back.
of similarities between
Yes,
sports sims
very
and
much.
trains. We talk about this all
Now,
the time.
do you like a specific? There are people in sports sim gaming, whether it's PC or card and dice.
Mhm.
They like a specific type of game or company. Do you stick with one style of train or company when you buy your product?
I try to find stuff that I've seen. So I'm modeling the Providence and Worcester Railroad, which is a
Cool.
regional railroad, along with the New England Central Railroad, which is a short line railroad that runs from New London, Connecticut to St. Albans, Vermont. And I try to find rail cars that I've seen before on the line. Turning around.
So you're trying to find specific
Similar stuff like this.
You're
This
trying
is
to
it.
find. Oh,
Yep.
go ahead.
It's hard to see because my light's blowing it out, but
Yep.
that's a Norfolk Southern
I can see the
coil
N
car.
S in black.
Yep. So that's Norfolk Southern.
Did
It's
you
a
say oil car?
It's a coil car. So inside, underneath this hood,
Yep.
would be steel coils that they would use for manufacturing. So they take the coil and then stamp the steel and make product out of it.
Yep.
This car would haul coils. And I've seen these NS 42-foot coil cars out here right where I live, right on the P&W for real. And I'm emulating the steel coming from, from Canada to Plainfield, and then back out to New Haven, Connecticut, where it either gets exported or whatever the case may be. So that's what I'm doing. So I'll have this car. It'll have a card with a waybill, and it'll tell where to and from. And then when my operators get on the layout and they run the layout, they'll know where this car needs to go. So they'll sort it. They'll take and unhook it. They'll put it on a track, leave it there, build it with the other cars that are going in that same direction.
PJet asks a question. Maybe you do this. He says, Ray, do you photograph or video real trains? Meaning
Yes.
that way you can get what you need, I would think, right?
Yeah, rail fanning's a huge part of it. So I do a lot of, I used to do a lot more, but
he travels around. And he sends me pictures all the time of the trains he does.
Yeah.
It's really phenomenal.
Yeah, so
that's kind of cool that you're actually doing the real train line. You're trying to emulate that, trying to find the cars and things like that. That's really cool. How difficult is that? That sounds like a daunting task to me.
It's
but enjoyable if that's what you like,
Again, parallels what you guys are doing with sports simulation games. It's just you're trying to recreate what the prototype for you guys, what we call prototype, is the real guys, the ones over here. These are my photographs.
Yep.
Where you guys are trying to simulate a 1979 game between the Cincinnati Reds and Cleveland Indians or whatever. I can't remember which game that Ted Cox got hosed in, but that's the one I'm referring to. So, but yeah, it's so funny how similar And these aren't even hobbies that Dave and I really connected on. We connected through roller hockey, but it's just funny that, we've just find so many
What's neat
parallels.
about the whole train thing is it reminds me of, you ever go over people's houses at Christmas and they have the villages?
Yep.
And every year it's like they add a little skating thing, or they add the mail house, and it's just, that's what it reminds me of when you go over people's. Oh, you see the train layouts. They have all these little things set up, and it just grows and grows and grows like a holiday setup.
My sister and brother-in-law, every Christmas, they have like a village that they put out, and something's added each year. They have a lot of stuff anyway. But yes, that's a great comparison to that. So you collect trains like we probably collect seasons. Yes. Do you get to run all your trains? That's the question.
Well, it's funny. I was saying today how much I was cutting down on how many rail cars I have, and then I ended up picking up 2. So,
we don't know what you're talking about. We have no idea what you're talking about.
So, yes. So it's but again, it's all adding to that, to back up that simulation where I'll be out and I'll be out here. Right, because they run right in my backyard, literally, and I'll go down and I'll see a car and it'll be of interest and be like, oh, I want to add that, and I'm not sure how I'm going to add it, but I'll add it. So it's constantly growing.
You go out back, because this is interesting to me. You go out back, or wherever, you take a shot. We'll say like you see, there's a one behind to your side on the wall. It's yellow and blue. Okay, how do you go about finding
this one here? Yeah.
Yes. What type is that?
That's a CSX.
That's an engine?
Yeah, that's a locomotive. It's actually it's a consist. There's 2 of them there. It's hard to see from that picture, but
so now you take that picture, this CSX.
Mm-hmm.
How would you go about, now you want to get that for your collection, for your enjoyment? Walk us through the process, because I find it interesting. Now, how are you going to hunt that down?
Okay, so that's CSX 3031. If you did a Google search for CSX 3031, it'll probably take you, one of the first hits will be railroadpicturearchives.net.
Okay.
It will tell you that that's probably a ET44AH or something like that. It's a GE made by General Electric, same people that made your toaster.
Yes, they did make toasters.
And it may or may not be modeled in that road number, but you can get a similar one and then renumber it through a decal set.
So so you've done that part. Where do you go to get the
train itself? The train itself, yeah.
The model itself.
Yeah, there's about 35 to 40 different vendors I could probably list off. Manufacturers like Atlas. Scale Trains is another really good one. Athearn.
So Ray,
Rapido,
when you got that one in, would you repaint it or just take it the color it is? Like that one you did there is blue and yellow. It looks like blue and yellow.
That is in the CSX Yellow Nose YN2B paint scheme, which means YN2 is Yellow Nose version 2. B means that it has the boxcar logo on the front. So that's a YN2B paint. Just
they're made with that. That type is made with that specific paint scheme.
Yes, right.
Okay, so if you got that one, that's what it's going to look like, and that's the way you hunt it down.
Interesting. Yeah, David asked, do you have a certain scale gauge you focus on? He grew up on Lionel.
Yep. So Lionel is O scale. I'm HO scale. HO stands for half O scale. So it's 1/87th scale. It's half of an O scale train.
PJ had an uncle in Brooklyn with a huge setup in his basement, and he would beg him to run it, considered me a pesky kid. You probably were a pesky kid, PJ. And you really got to see. Oh, that sucks. I mean, how can you not run it for a kid? I mean, you got this huge setup.
Where is he?
You got to run it,
Dave, isn't it kind of?
Come here, Mr. Mr. Jax. Captain Fantastic. Come here. Come here, Captain Fantastic. So let's show. Come here. You see his tail? Come here. Up here. This is. Look over here. This is Captain.
We got another guest on the show.
Captain Fantastic.
Yeah.
There he is.
Hi, buddy.
Awesome.
Hi, buddy.
You played in the mud today, didn't you? Yes, he did.
Oh, it's a nice white dog in the mud. Yeah.
Yes.
Oops.
I'm pretty sure you can't do the thing anymore. You get in trouble. But anyway.
Dave, isn't it kind of similar? He was mentioning, that these uncles in Brooklyn, and how many guys are out there playing sports simulation games or have model railroads, and you don't even know about it, or
get out of there.
They're just kind of lone wolves. And
yeah, I mean, it's funny how many people find our show and they're like, I didn't know that there was a show like this, and I, they go back and they're like, I thought I was the only one playing games like this, and they find out that there's hundreds of people doing this,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, very, so many parallels.
A lot of people say that Steve Tate's the most recent. He didn't realize how many people, when it comes to sports, simming and playing and talking about it, or putting it on the channel, or streaming. That's the word I'm looking for, or just sharing your project. It's so much fun to share your projects, whether you stream them or you just talk about. I'm a member of 3-4. The only reason why I joined Facebook was because of this hobby, because I wanted to follow people's projects and just meet people.
It's how you learn about new games too. There's a lot of new games to learn about,
Absolutely. There is so many games out there. So when you did your trains, did you already know there's you probably did an active community, or did you realize like, wow, there's a lot more people than I thought?
Yep. Ray's channel is Around the Layout on YouTube, correct, Ray?
YouTube, and then anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Oh, I can't. Okay, I can't.
Yep. So it's called Around the Layout. Oh, I can post it from here. Around the Layout.
I'm gonna have to go in a minute because I'm gonna play cards with my lovely wife.
Okay. So that's the name of it there.
Around the Layout. So if you search that.
And Ray has a podcast. He does. He's got a good sounding voice. He's got a good setup over there, nice little microphone, and he does a good job. Yes, he sounds good.
I got some really good advice on getting this set up from a guy that knows what he's doing.
Yeah. Before Al goes, you said you had a question about sports sims. So I wanted to get Al in on that as well.
Yeah, I guess you guys talk at a kind of a expert level on all these sports sim games, but for a guy who doesn't do sports sim games, where would you recommend someone to start?
What's your favorite sport?
Hockey? Yeah, okay. So, let's say hockey.
Okay. So, I would defer to Dave. So, here, if I was going to tell you to start with a hockey game, I'm a bit biased. I like Stone Cold Hockey. Now, this is how much I like the game. I like it on tabletop. To me, I picked it up quickly. I had a few things I didn't do right, but then I watched other people, and it got explained to me. The PC game, now, for you, because you're starting, I would this is my recommendation. It's not right. It's not wrong. It's my recommendation. If you're looking just to get into gaming, not necessarily tabletop, if PC doesn't bother you, I would say Stone Cold Hockey on the PC. I bought it I'm happy I got it on the tabletop because I learned how to play the game. So now when it's something about when you go to the PC, I'm like, I know what that means. Yeah. I know what that means. Yeah. I know what that means. When I play replay baseball, I taught myself, thanks to many people, I was on the fence for that game forever, but I love the visual of it. And it's not like it's all animation, but the visual is beautiful. The immersion. The thing with PC Replay Baseball, I'll get back to hockey in a second. When you buy PC Replay Baseball, they have a whole download. You don't have to load anything. You just click the download and it does it all for you. Meaning like the immersion factor.
The images, the logos.
The background state baseball parks.
Yeah, it comes.
So with Stone Cold Hockey, it plays quick enough, but you get Ron and Dave said this, and other people have, it feels like hockey. Strat is excellent, but because I'm not a hockey guru guy, there's certain things I'm like, okay.
I would suggest starting with Stone Cold Hockey as well. Maybe even on the PC, because you can roll your own dice, which is kind of fun. Rolling dice is half the fun with this hobby. It really is. And you just input the results and you follow along on the screen with Stone Cold Hockey. And it plays in chunks. So you roll a 6-sided dice and it tells you how many minutes have passed.
It's a high.
it's a highlight. It's a highlight game,
right? That's what they.
So you don't go pass by pass or play by play. It's just, okay, 3 minutes have passed. Let's take a look to see what happens. Do we have a puck battle in the corner that lead to a scoring chance or a penalty, or does one team get the puck outright and they get a scoring chance? And something like that. Then you resolve the play and then you do it again.
I think you would like that, Ray. The other, Action PC is fun, but I think if you're going to start, and there are probably other quick. You know what? Mike Owens and there's other free quick play games on Field of Dreams. I always mess this up. It's either Replay Field of Dreams or Dreams Field of Replay, something like that.
Sports Replays or something like that.
Yeah. But there are quick play games, meaning you roll the dice a couple of times, you get a result. I never thought I could have fun with that. I did that. I saw Dave Gardner play the football game. I'm like, how can you have fun with this? I did a whole 74 Patriots season, and then I did I came up with a few scenarios and had fun with that. So if you're looking for something you're not sure, and this goes out to anybody, if you're not sure you want to get in, if you haven't played for a long time or you just want to try it, there's some free games out there. They're absolutely fabulous. There's also some demos for PC sports games that you can keep forever and ever. You don't get the full game, but you can see if you like it. I think Dave was talking about the new baseball game he's playing. You can download.
Free demo. It's free demo.
Cool. I'm sorry. I'm horrible.
Season ticket.
Season ticket. You get two teams. I think one of them 75 Red Sox and Reds.
75 Red Sox and the Reds, yeah, and then 86 Mets and Sox.
You can't. It's free
for a Boston guy. Those are perfect, yeah.
So
and I tried it out, and I played 5 minutes, and I went and I bought a whole bunch of seasons because I said this is the game for me.
So, but I would suggest Stone Cold Hockey on the PC. Dave likes shootout hockey. I never pulled the trigger on that and it looks so much fun. But I'm not a hockey. I have a gazillion baseball games behind me, right? And I have a gazillion. Every boxing game that comes out, I try to buy and see if I like.
Yeah, baseball. I think Jamie's got it right. Baseball. I would say more baseball than football. The easiest sports to play.
Yes,
because it's at bat. You go at bat. Yep. You're not worried about line changing. It's just what's going to happen on this at bat.
Baseball. There's NP something. It's free, but it's an Appa-ish clone, and that's free every season. Free.
Pocket Pennant Run.
Pennant Run. There's an
ideal baseball game.
They've done a lot. And again, even if you don't play Pocket Pennant Run, the software and the stuff you can get off the software is incredible. It's kind of fun to look at. But for hockey, me not being a hockey guru, I like Stone Cold Hockey. Then I like Action PC. That's when I can go nuts and just go, I'm feeding Bobby Orr every opportunity I can, and he's going to take a shot. But Dave can probably. What other hockey games are a good intro? You had that subject on there, and then I'm going to leave after I hear Dave.
Yeah, I would suggest the Stone Cold Hockey is the newer one, and then you can buy it to play on the table or on the PC, and they work almost exactly the same. The shootout hockey's fun because you get a team card.
Yeah,
and it's the same kind of concept. You roll how many minutes come off the clock, then you roll to see if anybody gets a scoring chance or a penalty, or if it's kind of nothing that happens during that time frame, and then you kind of just keep doing that. And those are both pretty simple.
Have you've played quick play hockey? Have you played the free quick play hockey? I think it's Mike Owens. I can't remember.
I played a handful of quick play games. I actually simulated the entire 1970-71 season with a quick play hockey game, and it was just a couple of rolls per game, and I did every single game.
I think, Ray, after you're done with because you obviously talk to Dave a lot, you probably want to try that one just to see if that gives you any enjoyment. And then from there, I just like Stone Cold Hockey. I think it's well done. I'm glad Dave and Ron were able to help out Gary and Mr. I can't think of his first name. Dave, what's his first name, Dave? Hanna.
Richard Hanna. Because he is the best at bringing a tabletop game to the PC. So it's what's fun about that Stone Cold Hockey is that on the computer you could just say you want to play the Rangers. Let's say you could just play the Rangers. You want to play the Avalanche, you just play the Avalanche, and the computer simulates all the other games.
I have played,
so you can play along and roll the dice in the computer game and play a whole season and see how your team did, and not have to play every game.
I have played every game of my early '80s season. I didn't think I was gonna. I even played the New Jersey games, which they ended up getting a tie with the Rangers. Edmonton is horrific on defense, but my God, they can score at will.
Oh yeah.
It's incredible.
That 84 Edmonton team, yeah.
Anyway, I have to bid adieu to everyone. Thank you very much, Uncle Dave, for having me on. Ray, nice talking to you. Nice meeting you.
It's good seeing you, Al.
So take care, everyone. God bless. Love you all.
Bye, Al.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Al, for coming by.
How are we gonna keep that energy up that Al has?
I know he's like
shot out of a cannon,
and he just did an 1.5-hour boxing stream.
Yeah.
So I was sitting there setting up, and he was on, so I was kind of waiting for it to get done. And when it looked like the boxing match was just about over, I just jumped on, and holy cow, he just did an 1.5 hours. Then he come on with us, and now he's gonna play cards. You know. SG he likes Stone Cold Hockey. Lose some detail, but it plays with the pace of watching hockey. Many clever mechanics to keep it interesting. Same with the PC Legends of Box. Yeah, the thing that's really cool about the Stone Cold Hockey, they have a feature that I don't remember seeing in any other hockey game, where they have a stamina meter. Okay, so in the game, if you take a penalty, okay, so you go to the box, the other team loses stamina, because that means that you crunch somebody, or you check somebody, you trip somebody, so they're taking a beating. Okay, so you try to whittle their stamina down, but at the same time you're taking penalties. Now there are a couple of instances where you lose stamina that you don't get a penalty, but what I'm getting at is that this whole stamina meter off to the side, all of a sudden you'll be late in the game and you'll roll the dice and it'll say team with the highest stamina gets a scoring chance. So if you've pounded the crap out of that team and managed to kill off those penalties late in the game when it's a head-to-head stamina check, well, you've destroyed this team, and you will get those shots. And that's what's fun about that game, is that off to the side, the whole stamina thing. Like, I remember when I first played, I was like, I'm not even going to use the stamina thing. It's like, why do I need the stamina? I'm just going to play. If you get the shot, if you get the puck, we're going to do it. But then you realize the stamina, not always, but can be a big part of the game. So wearing the other team, like when you play the 70s, the Flyers, they grind other teams down.
Right.
But they take a lot of penalties. So if you can kill the penalties, it's a double-edged sword. In fact, when we had the guy on the show, he talked about that. He said that, the whole penalty thing, it's a double-edged sword, because he says you take a lot of penalties, but you whittle away the stamina. So if you don't kill off the penalties, the stamina doesn't matter. You've given up all the goals. But if you can kill off the penalties, when that stamina check comes, you're going to win that battle every time, and you're going to get a late scoring chance.
You'd almost think that the stamina would also have to go down if you take a lot of penalties too, because if you're constantly on the PK penalty kill.
Yeah, no, I think how this is done is that you're the more aggressive team, and you're grinding the other team down, and you're tiring them out. Yep. And I think Ron and I played a couple games where the teams went down from 10 stamina, they were down to like 2 each, but they would just ground down to nothing, And I think one of the games was like a 1-0 game. It was really cool. You just felt like you were watching two teams just hit each other all night long. And just when you get done that game, you feel like you've played a hockey game. You really do. It's really kind of fun.
Yeah, that's cool. We talked a lot about baseball. I mean, not baseball, but about hockey. One thing that you and I have had in personal conversations, we talk about video games, where like I'll pick a video. I'm not a big basketball fan, but I'll pick up video game of basketball and I'll play it and have a lot of fun. Does it kind of translate the same thing with sim games?
I was just talking about that earlier, that sometimes I enjoy other games besides hockey better, probably because I'm a huge hockey fan. I watched it my whole life. I play it. I never played it at a high level, but I do the play-by-play for it. So I'm so into hockey that when I play a hockey game, especially a hockey video game, it doesn't and it can't replicate a hockey game. You just can't do it, because it's basically let's put when you play NHL, whatever it is on Xbox or PlayStation, it's basically 10-year-old soccer. Everyone goes to the puck. Yeah. No one's playing position. Everyone goes to the puck. Everyone's trying to score. It's just you just follow the puck around, and then all 10 guys chase after it. That's kind of really what it is. And hockey's not like that. A lot of hockey is playing without the puck, and you don't get that in these games. And there was a couple of games they played. I think it was NHL 14 on the Xbox 360, where you could play one guy, and you would have to play without the puck. And it showed you where you needed to go too. And the coach would grade you every shift, and that was so much fun. That was fun because you were actually playing hockey. You didn't have the puck, so you couldn't go chase it behind the net. If you had to stay in your position, and if the puck came to you, fine. But if it didn't, you had to be disciplined. That might take away some of the fun of run and gun hockey in the video games, but hockey can never really duplicate a real game. And so maybe when I play basketball, why I have so much fun with it, because I don't know anything about basketball. I get out and I shoot, and if I get it in, I'm thrilled. No, I don't. Now when you're telling me to box guys out and set up plays and do that, I don't know anything about that. Nothing at all. I get out and I pass and I shoot, and I have fun with it. So so there are times that I've played basketball games I've enjoyed more than hockey games and video games.
Right. Yeah, it probably takes that kind of. I don't know. I don't want to say, maybe it's kind of like an ignorant bliss when you do that, right? You just don't know enough about it.
That's exactly what it is. Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I can see that. And that's exactly what it is. You're not, but there's just something about like watching basketball. I couldn't do it, or maybe I've never watched golf on TV, but maybe that'd be something. I mean, I know I played it, Xbox or PlayStation or whatever, and it's fun. It's just funny how, if you can interact with it, or it makes it a little more relatable than just out here watching it.
What was fun about when I first started getting away from video games and coming into the dice games, I was amazed that I must have been Stratomatic Hockey is what I played, and whatever game it was probably 3 or 4 years ago now, probably 4 years ago now, and I remember playing the game. And I don't know, it was halfway through the game or when the game got over, I said, how does it do this? How do taking these dice right here, rolling them on the table and looking at a card? How the heck is that a hockey game? How the heck is that a baseball game? And when you do it, it's amazing that it's like magic. It just floored me the first time I played these games. I'm like, I would have never thought rolling dice on a table. Could you think of back in the day, we played Monopoly and Life and Yahtzee and all these games here. And now I'm playing a sports game. And I'm like, Cam Neely just scored a goal from Adam Oates. And, and then, Ray Bork takes a penalty. And it's like, I felt like I just played an entire game. And I don't know how it does it. It just makes no sense to me that you can roll dice and look at a card or a chart, and you're going to get the same kind of feeling as if you just played NHL 23.
Yeah,
but it works.
It must be some amazing stuff in the background that goes on to put these together. Because I kind of joked with you, in a private conversation about sports simulation games, and we went to racing, and I'm a drag racing guy. And I don't know of anybody that has a real good game, and
right.
they keep messing it up video game wise. They just cannot emulate drag racing very well for some reason. And I was thinking, it'd be fun but then you got to think of like all the scenarios and all the pieces that would have to go into creating a game, and then you go into sports with all these elements to it. It must be just amazing what they do put behind it.
Yeah. So Dom, send me an email. digitaltodice@yahoo.com, and I'll send you that app assist. Yeah, there's a few things I had to change about app, but those assists, you could roll all night and never get an assist. So that chart, you roll once and you're done. It was kind of good. PJ said he was frustrated with Strat Hoops for the same reason. I don't understand hoop strategy. It felt like I wasn't maximizing the game. Yeah, I like Stratomatic basketball. I have a couple of seasons, and I have the game. I think I have the old game and the new game. I don't know how I did that. The old game I couldn't figure out how to play. The new game I could figure out. The newer version I could play. And I was the same way. I followed it, and it's fun. You roll. It's like Bird gets it. What's he going to do? Oh, he's going to pass to McHale. McHale takes the shot. It's good or it's no good. The rebound goes to this person, and you play on. That was really fun. But, yeah, there's a couple of things in there that's like, is the person open? Are you going to double team? Are you going to press? I don't know enough about basketball to say what that is. So yes, I feel the same way, PJ, that I wish I knew basketball more, and I'm the same way with baseball. You talk about the casual bliss is that I play baseball games, and, I just play and I enjoy it. And, and I the hockey, I can almost not do that sometimes because I'm so into it and I know how it works. With baseball, I just pitch and hit, and just, if the pitch is doing bad, he comes out. If the bat is doing good, he stays in, and I don't really get into the, shifting this guy over here or trying to do this. I just play a basic game, and that's all I need to have fun. It really is. Hockey, I need a little bit more, because that's my game, So tabletop gaming isn't as stressful, but setting it up can be deterrent for sure. Yeah, Smelly Wrestling Geek, I would agree with that it's definitely it's a stress relaxer, but sometimes setting a game up, depending what game it is, if it takes a while to set up, it can be a little stressful setting it up. But once you start rolling, it is. Let me tell you, when I started playing these baseball games on here this week, I couldn't wait to get done work to come down here and play those games. That's how fun they were, and that's how I relaxed. I come down here and I set up my teams and I got it on the screen here, and sometimes I would play it on YouTube, and sometimes I would just play it here myself. And it's just roll the dice. Okay, it's a hit. Okay, is it going to be a single? Oh, no, he's out. Okay, no, what's this going to be? And it was so relaxing. I'm playing 1979. You know what I mean? I think I was like 12 years old. Just enjoying the heck out of that season. And looking at the names that I saw as a kid. It's just so real. It's like when you catch a clip on YouTube, from way back. You're like, oh, man, those are some good times. You know what I mean? I remember those teams. And so that's what you get, that feeling every time you play a sports sim. You get that feeling that you're going back in time, and that's your happy place.
And imagine the level of difficulty or whatnot, like you said, if you've had a long day, stressful, a lot of things, you had a lot of brain time to come down and not have to think about all those elements, to just be able to play without a whole lot of that going on. Certainly, it seems more appealing.
It is very, very relaxing. I haven't tried Dash United yet. I have it. I bought it on sale, so I'm going to probably print that out maybe this weekend and see what I can do. And yes, Stone Cold Hockey makes you feel like you're there at the game. And it's got a neat, at the end, it's really neat. You have the whole pull the goalie thing at the end, which is kind of neat, which takes you into like a small little different segment of the game. And that's really kind of fun too. It breaks down the game into 20 seconds segments instead of full minutes. So it just gives you a little bit of drama at the end of the game. But it does it. You go to the chart and you read like, okay, what happened on this? Well, it was a big hit in the corner and, you lose the stamina, or it's a big hit. And if your stamina is 7 or better, you get a scoring chance. So that's where the stamina comes in. So if your stamina is a 2 because you've been beat up, you don't get the scoring chance. So but it's all spelled out. It really is. You don't have to do any looking around. You just like, there it is, and the computer game kind of handles it all for you. So it's really kind of fun,
Nice.
But yeah, so we'll stay on a few more minutes to say hi to people here, and just so again in the chat room, what are you guys playing? What did you guys pick up for Black Friday? What are you playing? I just kind of wanted to see what everybody else was doing. I was going to play a baseball game tonight, but sometimes I enjoy chatting and seeing who we can get on the show and see what people are playing and find some different games to chat about. I look over here. It's funny. I got all my games behind me, but I got games over in Studio A. Studio A is active again. I just don't stream from there. And I got a whole bunch of my print and play games over here.
Is that what the A stands for in Studio A? Studio Active?
No, that was something that started with the Ratcast back in 2006.
Right.
And that's what my computer was. So we had Studio A set up, and that's what I recorded from. And then, I moved everything to the other corner of the basement here, which is working out better because it's away from the furnace. So when the furnace kicks on, I don't pick it up anymore. But when the furnace kicked, in the wintertime, when we recorded in Studio A, we had to shut the furnace off because it kept kicking on. And seriously, all you would hear is the furnace. It was like, oh man, it's going to wreck the show. So when we moved over here, it was great. It's just far away enough that it doesn't pick up the furnace sound. So that's kind of good. But Studio A was taken up by other things. Now I got a gaming table over there and I got my hockey mat on it and I have the hockey games over there. So I just can't stream from over there. I'd have to have a whole new setup over there. But
in the Digital to Dice World headquarters there, how many actual studios do you have? You've got that one. You've got the one upstairs.
This is Studio B. Yeah. So I got Studio A. I got Studio B. Studio C is the dining room, and that's where I used to do a lot of my showcase. I still do up there because it's nice and bright. In the day, the natural light comes in and lights up that room, and I got a nice little backdrop behind me. So I do a lot of unboxings up there.
Yep.
So Studio C is pretty good. Studio L was the living room. Once in a while, I'll do something from Studio L, but not too often.
And Studio K is your kitchen, right? I think you've done a couple
Yeah, I don't know if I did Studio
videos.
K much. I think I did the when I did the cleaning of the plastic tubs.
That was Studio K. Yep.
But I think I did Studio Y, I think, was the Yard. I did a couple of reviews out in the Yard back in 2020. You know, when there's nothing else to do. You know, I was home, couldn't leave the house without getting shot. You know, and so I was out in the backyard doing it and setting up the camera out in the backyard. That was kind of fun.
Well, I'm just glad that this is Studio B and not another room in your house that could be a B. So that works out well for all of us.
Smelling Wrestling Geeks. He's like the franchise hockey manager as usual. You know, I play that very differently. I set that up and do my drafts. And Ray, this computer game called Franchise Hockey Manager. You know what's really kind of cool about that is you can go to any year and do a fantasy draft. You can just say, I want to pick all that. So you sit there, you manage a team. You pick whatever team you want, and then you just start picking. So everyone goes in the free agent pool.
Okay.
And you can pick any. So this year, you know, if you got first pick, you could pick up McDavid or whatever, let's say. So let's just say you had the Rangers, you know, and you had first pick, you could take McDavid, let's say, or, you know, if you had fifth pick, you could pick whoever. And you just go down, you pick, you pick your teams, your goalies, and you're drafting just like you're doing a fantasy draft. And so I would do that. That's what I would do with franchise hockey managers. I'd go back into the 70s, repick my team, and see how I would do. And I would always get killed. I just would, you know.
Is there a way to mix in the cap along with that? So you have to kind of do some math along with and figure out what you can do for.
I think, that does come into play in that game. I think I turned it off just so I could just kind of do it. But it was, and Smelly Wrestling Geek. Yeah, this is the other thing they do. They do this thing called random debut. Okay. So let's just say you went back to 1980, let's say. Pick a season, okay? So you got, 17 teams in a league or whatever, 20 teams, or whatever, how many teams in a league. So you send everybody free. You say, I'm doing a random debut. What happens is anybody that played in the NHL, okay, is in that draft, and they could be any age. So you could get a 35-year-old Patrice Bergeron and a 19-year-old Gordie Howe. If you follow that. Right. It's called random debut. So that means that they didn't start in the NHL when they started at any time. So let's just say you picked 1980 and you got a 19-year-old Gordie Howe. That means he started playing in the NHL the year before. And Patrice Bergeron, if he's 35, that means he's been playing since the 60s. You know, and it's so funny seeing the newer guys that are, you know, older than the classic people. You know, you can get, you know, again, you could get a 20-year-old Phil Esposito and a 35-year-old Bobby Orr, you know, and they played at the exact same time, but that's how the random debut works. That was fun. I did a lot of those too.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. Let's see here. A couple more questions here. Dom says, how would you rate Inside the Crease hockey computer cards and dice? I love it. I love Inside the Crease computer cards and dice. It feels like you're playing a full game. You got block shots. You battle in the corner. You know, it does a lot of little things. It's 20-second increments. And I feel like I played a full hockey game. In fact, I practice my broadcasting with that because there's so many things that happen in that game that don't happen in other games. And it's a long game and it's fun to play. Excuse me. The penalties, I still don't understand. And I've tried to learn them, but I just still don't understand how the penalties work in that game. So I just fudge them the best I can. The other thing about that game, you can't simulate any games. So if you want to say, hey, I want to play the Blackhawks and I want to play the entire season, that's great. You play the Blackhawks. No other games get played. So in a game like Stone Cold Hockey or Stratomatic Hockey or even Action PC Hockey, you can play only the games you want and the computer will play all the other ones. So at least you can be like, hey, how am I doing in the standings? Inside Sports don't do that. And that's a big downfall. A lot of people won't play that game because it doesn't simulate the other games. But I really like to play that one. It's a good game for me to broadcast too. In fact, I would prefer that. If I'm going to broadcast a hockey game, that's my preferred game.
That was actually going to be my next question to you. What your favorite game is to broadcast, to do your play-by-play with?
Yeah, Inside the Crease. It says Smelly Wrestling Geek hit it right on the head. The biggest issue with Inside the Crease is the fact that you have to play every single game, and you just can't. There's no way you could do it. I'm actually playing the Washington Capitals 74-75 season. I want to see how many wins I can get them. And again, it's a game you don't make many decisions. You can change the lines, but you just follow along. It does a good job of showing you what to look for. So picture like 10 cards on the screen. Those are the guys you're looking for. It'll say corner battle, and it'll light up to two guys that are fighting for it, and you can see what their numbers are. So you can say, okay, this guy's going to get the puck. So you click on this guy, and then it says he's going to try to make a pass. He's going to try to pass to this guy. If this defenseman has a rating of 5, then he intercepts the pass. So that's kind of how that game works. But the PC game shows it, so you can really kind of click and play along with it. But yeah, you can't play any. You have to play every game, and you just can't do that. So it's fun for a one-off, and I enjoy playing that game. That would be my go-to PC hockey game if it simulated other games. So right now, Stone Cold Hockey is the one that does that. So I can play any game I want. I can play them all. I can just pick one team. I can play a game of the week, and then the computer does the rest. And I feel like I'm in that season is when I do it that way. Let me see. As a game itself, inside the crease is great. Yes, it is. But again, the penalties are quirky, and you got to figure out, how to play all the other games. Inside Blitz football game, I do like. That's the computer version of Inside Blitz. It's very similar to Inside the Crease. I really like it. I got a handful of seasons for that, and I think I'm playing 91. I'm playing. I have it upstairs on something. I'm playing 1991. I'm enjoying the heck out of that. And up-tempo basketball is fun. I just picked up the computer helper for that, and I'm gonna probably show some of that off on the channel pretty soon as well. So, but up-tempo basketball, that's another fun game where you got the team card and you follow along. What's the number say? Okay, so again, it's a basketball game, but it's just you get a number, and the team has a number. I think it's a 0 to 99 number, so it's listed from 0 to 99. 0 is like called a steal, up to 20. 20 to 30 is a 2-point shot. 30 to 40 is this. 40 to 50. So if you follow that, there's different categories. So you get 6 or 7 different things that can happen on the dice roll, and then you find out. What happens if the turnover just goes to the other team. If it's an automatic field goal, 2 points. If it's a field goal attempt, now you got to roll the dice to see if the shot was good or not. So that's how easy up-tempo basketball is. I really, really like it. Scott said he created NCAA college teams in Dice United. A lot of people do that, Ray. There's certain games in our community that they give you the ability to create teams, which is kind of fun because, everyone plays the top teams or whatever, but, Scott just created NCAA. So, let's just say you want to, to create, the Hartford, Wolfpack or whatever it is, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might not be in a hockey game, but if someone gives you the formula and says, okay, you look at their wins, their losses, their goals against, their, save percentages for goalies, if you plug all that in, and that'll shoot out the Hartford Wolfpack, let's say. And so now you can play that in their game. So that's a whole other art itself is creating teams for these games, and a lot of people do them for the minor leagues or for teams that they grew up with or, their high school teams or whatever like that. So that's a whole other art to this thing that I don't get in.
And imagine with NCAA, because of the licensing and everything else, to be able to actually add real players, it's certainly a lot easier to do it that way.
I think so.
Yeah.
Let's see. All the inside games look great. Yeah, I do like them all. I like the baseball inside pitch. I have a hard time with it, but I like it. I haven't figured out inside the paint basketball. There's a really good video on YouTube that I go to all the time when I try to watch that, but I don't know enough about basketball. And I run into problems with that when I don't know who's guarding who and what to look for here. I got that to move a little bit. It's a really fun basketball game, but I just don't know basketball enough, and I need to spend more time with it.
And that does say, but no AI, not no Al. We definitely want. We want Al, not no
the inside
Al.
games are great, but there is no AI. You just kind of click around and it tells you what to do. But you feel like you're playing cards and dice. I do that. I made fun of those games for a while because I didn't understand them. But once I started playing, I'm like, oh yeah, they make a lot of sense. And watching me play through the game look fun. Yeah, I try to make them look fun. I really try to make them look fun. Let's see. The NCAA replay is reading along on Delphi. That's kind of cool. He's going to do next year's D2 schools. That's kind of neat. And he's going to play his daughter's season. That's kind of cool.
Oh, yeah.
Dave, give Ray my email. I have a brand new racing board game. Ray, what's your around the layout email?
Around the layout at gmail.com.
Around the layout at gmail.com, Scott, if you want to hook up with Ray.
I'll check it out. Oh, very cool. Appreciate that.
Yep, and give him any tips too, because I don't think he's played. So give him a tip on how to get started on that racing board game there, if you will.
Yeah, I'll check that out.
There was I saw someone on I don't know if it was YouTube or must have been YouTube. And I think it's actually a newer game. And the board folds out, and it's huge.
Yep.
And it covers like an entire table, like not like a small table, like it's like the size of a Persian rug, something like that.
You would need to put all the wings in for Thanksgiving dinner, kind of long table.
Yeah. It's a pretty. I want to say it was 3 by 3 or 3.5 by 3.5. It was a pretty big square, and it all unfolds, and it's a racing game. And you put your cars on, and you roll the dice, and you move your car along the spaces, but.
Yep.
Then when you come in the corners, you got to test your brakes. So you have each car is rated differently. So when you go into the turn, if you roll too much, you don't have enough time to put on your brakes and you wipe out around the turn. But you play this on the table with actual cars and you move them along this track, and the board is two-sided. So you have like a cityscape here, then maybe you have a different one over here in the mountains or something like that. And I seen people play that, and I'm like, holy cow, that looks like so much fun if you had the space. If you had the space to play those little racing games there.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. I tried to rate my own teams in a couple things, and some worked out well, and some didn't. It's a lot harder than it looks. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, but I find it's a lot of work, and I'm so like meticulous with it that I get frustrated with it. It's like, oh man, this ain't coming out good, and I know I screwed it up and this and that and the other thing, but a lot of times it comes out pretty good. I prefer to do the stock teams. I don't know what it is. I've played some homebrew. They call them homebrew, where people make them up, themselves. I always tend to trust the manufacturer because they have the exact formula. And I know that they sometimes will sell it in a, like, hey, you can buy the formula so you can rate your minor league teams or whatever. So, for some reason, I like to buy that right from the company because I know that they're right,
Yeah.
And I'm not going to screw them up and be playing and have a guy that, scored 2 goals in his career, get 3 hat tricks in a season. And be like, okay, I screwed up. Too high of a rating.
Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot that, so much that goes into it. There's just so much detail at times. But then you mentioned something that kind of, and I don't want to go on too far here, but something you mentioned about sports simulation games again triggers the model railroading side, and we call it on our side compression. Where for us to simulate an actual railroad, you'd have to have 40 miles scale of track.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Right. So you divide that even by 87, you still need a lot. So you compress, and then it sounds like what you do in games as well. You don't play the whole 60 minutes and every detail of every puck touch, every, every meticulous detail. You compress it down into a digestible amount that area, you can. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So
yeah,
it's the same thing. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah. Hi, Dom. If you're asking about my dog, both of mine are doing pretty well. It's been 2 months since CJ got his knee surgery, and he's doing quite well. And the other one, Mimi, the little chihuahua there that we set up the GoFundMe for, she had the emergency surgery. She's doing pretty well too. Although on a sad note, CJ, the one who had the knee surgery, he's 11 now. His best buddy, he had one friend. He doesn't make many friends, this dog. He's a people dog, not a dog. He did have one friend in the entire world. And they called us up and said that he got diagnosed with cancer. And they don't know if he has weeks or months to live. So they brought him over and they got to see each other. And so he's like, well, we're going to come over as much as we can so they can spend as much time together, because he's not doing good. And 2 weeks later, the dog died. Like 2 weeks. He's like, this dog was just at my house and was out in the yard, not running and playing like he normally did, but he didn't look like he was about to die. And so my poor buddy doesn't have any more friends left, so that's kind of a bummer there. Jamie says, if you want a racing game like you described in a board game, check out CFR Racing.
Okay.
Never heard of that one there. I do have one. I have a game, Ray. It's called, is it Hugging the Rails? Well, it's a version of Hugging the Rails.
Yeah.
And it's super fun. I think it was made in the 40s or 50s. Okay. And it just folds up the board game, and it's got a racing track on it. And I imagine that, well, no, it's a picture like just a racing track, and each it's got little segments like a graph. You know what I mean? So it's like you move 2 spaces, okay, whatever. what's so cool about this game is I think it actually had a might have had a wooden dice with it. Either that, it's the football game had a wooden die. I think
cool.
I could be wrong, or maybe it was a real. No, it was a real old looking die. It might have been made out of wood. What you do in this game, I think there was 6 cars, and it's got this little shake. Picture a lollipop, okay?
Yep.
Picture a lollipop. Inside this lollipop are little beads, and they're all different colors. So you turn the lollipop upside down, you shake the beads, and you turn it, and the little balls come in, and that tells you the order of the cars.
Jeez. Okay.
Okay. So let's just say it's like green, red, blue, purple, whatever, right? So you line them up: green, red, blue, purple. So everyone has a car. So everyone rolls the dice, and the first guy gets to go, and so you all move, right? So okay, everyone's moved. Now you shake it again, and that gives you the order who rolls first on the next round. It's pretty ingenious for an old game, and I played it here. I did a demo on my my channel here one time. I should pull that out again. It's so simple and fun. It just, you shake this little lollipop, you tilt it down, and the beads come down, and it shows you what order it is. And every round, it's a new order, And so you get the strategy. So you're trying to hug the rails because that's the quickest path to win. So if you're on the outside, you're trying to come in. So if you roll first and you get a 6, you can really get up against the rail and box some people out. You know what I mean? Like in real racing. And it's just such a fun, simple game. And I think it was actually made somewhere in Boston too, if I remember correctly. Cool. Yeah. It's called Hugging the Rails. And there was a couple different ones. There was 2 different names for it. But anyway, that's what it was. It was very, very simple game, but it was a blast. I played it a few times. It's something I want to pull out like at a holiday party and play. Like, hey, let's play this game here, But I'm always afraid because that little shaker is so old. If people started fighting over it, they would break it, and there's no way to replace it.
Yeah.
It's just, so I'm like, yeah, give me that. Yeah, I can just see people, give me that. I want to shake it. It's like, So, but anyway, so that's a fun one there. There was a place up by me. They might still be there that sold old board games, and that's all they did, and like toys and stuff. And I remember I went in there a few years ago, and they had all these sports games, and they had I picked up a football game, and I still have it, and I played it on the channel a couple times. Yeah, I forget what the name of it is, but it did have the wooden dice. I don't know if it was 1 die or 2 die, and you just. So I took the cover off, and it's just like the football field and just a little marker. It's a wooden marker for the football, and just you had a running play and a passing play, I think, and you just rolled the dice and it told you what it was, and that's what happened. And then you had your kicking and your punting. Extra points. The only way you could kick an extra point is if you rolled a 7. Imagine that. Now there's a good chance you're gonna roll a 7, but holy cow, an extra point. This was made in the 40s. Kicking an extra point in the 40s, you had more of a chance to miss it than you had of making it.
Yes, yeah.
And I couldn't find the instructions for the game, right? Where do you think they were? On the inside cover.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's how they were back in the day. So I picked it up, and where are the instructions? You flip it around. Oh, there they are, printed on the inside cover. So that's where the instructions were. So they had all these old games in there. They had the Happy Days board game, the $6 Million Man board game. All those TV shows had board games. And I was going to get some of them. Not that I'd ever play them, but they would be fun to have. But, they wanted like $40, $50, $60 for some of these things.
Oh,
like, no. Yeah, no. And I know that they're old and they're probably in good condition a whole bit, but it's like, it's for something I'd never played. It's just.
I was thinking as we were talking, I said, I did have a baseball game back in the day. It was that classic Major League Baseball board game.
Oh, really?
Where you had like it basically came with, baseball cards for every player. And don't ask me how to play because I certainly don't remember. And I don't think we ever really did. We just kind of pulled all the baseball cards out of it. And, that I don't know. I didn't know what to do with the thing, but yeah, it was back in the day. I had that. So.
Oh, let's see here. Tom is just wondering, when you officiate, if you have to break up fights, tough to do. Broken arm doing that. Well, most of the referees in our league, we don't. It's just like, you want to fight, you fight. I ain't getting in there. There was one night where 2 guys were wrestling on the ground, And I was like, all right, enough of this. So I went over to say, hey, enough. And the guy spun the other guy around and his skate hit me in the hand.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, if you guys cut me, I am going to go nuts. And I looked, and luckily it was the boot, not the blade, that cut me. And I was like, that's the last time I do that. It ain't worth it. It's just not worth it,
No, I got a soapbox thing on that. I feel the same way. You're supposed to let them tire to a point where you can get in there and do it safely. But if anybody noticed over the last, maybe 3-4 years or so, the NHL has got this thing where they send the linesman in very early now. Like if the fight right in the midst of it, you'll see the linesman get in. And you also will notice in the last 3 or 4 years, a lot more injuries to linesmen and I'm out because it's very dangerous to take two combatants that are still full of energy and then jam two linesmen in between them.
There was a time back in the 70s, 60s and 70s that they would try to break it up immediately. Like as soon as they started going at it, they got right in there. They wouldn't let him tire himself out. They would get right in, try to break it up back in the day, but now not so much.
They started on that trend again, and it's just like, better off just letting them go. Let them go. They know they're professionals. They know what they're doing, and they chose to fight. Now, if a guy's turtled or if he's in danger, you got to get in there and do something. Yeah. But if they're both still able to fight and protect themselves, you stay back and let them go.
Yeah, I won't watch that. I've heard about it, but I won't watch the Evander Kane incident. I just won't watch it, and I just don't want to see that shit. Our family board game is King Oil. Never heard of that one.
Huh?
It's so funny.
I've heard of the Oil Kings. Isn't that like a WH or whatever,
like
a
CHL team or something?
Yeah, something like that. The Oil Kings, but never King Oil.
Yeah, I get to watch those once in a while because I have a couple of streaming services for hockey, and they'll come up, and I'll catch some of those games there. It's kind of funny. A lot of the junior leagues that I watch, and I just watch a few minutes because I like to see the different rinks and the whole bit. All the ones up in Canada, they all have like the curling stuff on the ice. So they're playing a hockey game, and all of a sudden you see like these big round circles for curling out there. It's kind of funny,
Still better than all those ads, though, aren't they?
Oh my God. The ECHL this season. I was watching a game up in Maine.
Yeah.
It's just ads. I couldn't watch between the NHL and their moving dashboards, which is too distracting for me, and the ECHL with ads everywhere. I have a real hard time watching hockey. In fact, I say this all the time. I go to bed and I got my phone, I got XM radio, and I listen to the game. Yeah. I would rather listen to it. It doesn't hurt my eyes when I listen to the game.
Yeah,
I just can't do it.
You and I've had quite a few offline chats about this, but even if I get it, you got to generate revenue, whatever the case is. But when the ads move, that's the worst. Like if they just had the digital ads and they were static.
If they did it in between whistles, you know what I mean? Leave it up, have the play, goalie makes a save, whatever. Spin them around during the break.
Yeah.
But while they're skating up the ice and you see stuff dashing by, it's almost like in a movie. They always say you can only have one comedic thing going on at a time. So if two people are talking, you can have something funny happening in the background. But if two people are talking and that's the joke, the people in the background have to be serious. You can't have two jokes going on at the same time. And that's what I feel is going on there. There's way too much going on.
Yep. And then Enterprise sends the car around. That does it for me. It's like, please don't move.
I hope they get rid of that. I really do. But anyway, so, all right, well, we're going to jump out here. I didn't think I'd go on this long, but we had a couple of guests. We had a really lively chat room tonight. We got to talk to a lot of people. We got to talk a lot about games. We got to talk about trains and just all around just a good time tonight. And that's what I wanted to do tonight. Come on and say hi to the guys.
Yeah.
We had Al on for a little while too. And so that was kind of fun. But
you think he's run out of energy yet?
Oh, he's playing cards.
Yeah, so he's probably all wound up. Still shot out of a cannon. He's a lot of fun.
Stealing the cards.
Throwing them around the living room.
So much fun there. But hey guys, thanks for tuning in tonight. Just a little Saturday night chat. Oh, Wednesday night, and I should have said this at the beginning, we're scheduled Wednesday night to have Mark from Digital Diamond Baseball come on and talk to us. It was supposed to be tonight. Ron couldn't make it tonight, so we're hoping to get him on Wednesday night. So we're going to be, I'll post that up, and we'll have you guys, any questions about Digital Diamond, ask him. That's the game I'm enjoying. Actually, I'm using that as the companion. It's very customizable. It's very easy to use. And I'm really, really enjoying it. And he's watched the videos. And I got talking to him and says, why don't you come on and let's talk about your game and your companion. So look for that on Wednesday night, and we'll try to advertise that a little bit as well. Are there any more wooden sticks in hockey? I think so. I think if you go to the store, you can find. I don't think anybody in the NHL is using them. But the thing is, they're so heavy. Like when you walk into a hockey store and you grab a wooden stick, it's like, and you grab one of those other sticks, you're like,
yeah,
it really is. In fact, the first time that I used one of those sticks, I'm like, holy cow. Like people would come up to the rink and like, oh, check out my new stick. And you're just like, it felt like it was going to float away. It was so light, like, holy cow, that was so cool.
But Dominic, yes, a visit today, I can confirm that price point actually is a little bit higher now. It's about $350 for a player stick right now, and some of the
I tend to find the sticks that are under $100 because I don't need a good stick to play.
Me too, but they are out there for $350 or more bucks.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, I see people show up at the rink with those. Like, what are you doing?
Those are the ones you don't want to break over the crossbar.
Oh yeah, we got people that break sticks all the time. Says, you got to bring a bad stick so you can smash those.
That's right.
Doug, thank you there. Thank you, Dominic. Scott, ronthelayout@gmail.com if you want to hook up with Ray and you guys can show him that racing game. Maybe you guys can talk about a few things. So we'll try to get Ray into some sports sim gaming. I really think he would like that Stone Cold Hockey PC game.
I'm gonna get you running trains. I'll just start.
Oh yeah. I don't doubt that I'll be doing trains at some point. I'm kind of afraid to because I have a very addictive personality. If I really like it, then I'm gonna want to kind of clear out some stuff.
We'll get you over here. We'll switch some cars.
yeah, that'd be fun time. So anyway, all righty. So we'll talk to everybody later. Again, Wednesday night we have a live chat coming up. Scheduled to have a live chat come up with Mark from Digital Diamond Baseball. And then we'll be back with our normal show probably the week after. But anyway, Ray, thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for having me. It was a good time.
All right. Stay tuned. We have some parting gifts for you.
All right.
Gifts. Does it guess? Gifts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm waiting for it. Here we go.
I'll talk to everybody later. Bye-bye.